We look like we're live. I like super chats on here. I'll give you guys some time to get in here. Usually I do the music and all that, but I figured the people coming from the Red Elephants wouldn't want to go from a stream to music and then a stream. So I figured, why not just start it? What's up, Jolly Roger? How's it going, War X Harder? Larry, Buzzy, Larry, Juice Rock, Stuart Hamilton. So I see a lot of new people in here, but you know what's weird is on the Streamlabs, it's not saying anyone's. Okay, oh, okay, there it goes. It went up to 17 viewers. Okay, it was weird. It said 0, and I'm like, people are commenting, so it's impossible that there's 0. So welcome to any of the new people. If you like political live streams, if you like live streams in general, I would urge you to subscribe. I'm trying to reach 10,000 subs. We're still very small, so if you're in here, most likely I'll interact with you. It's always fun. I know the other day I was watching Andy Worski and the Purple Dragon, and me and him kind of sort of know each other. We're internet friends, you know. So he you know, it's just, yeah. I mean, his channel's like 3K because it's a video game thing. It's not political, so people are going there because they like Andy. And so he was reading a lot of my stuff. I thought it was really fun. So I would think that that's the feeling you guys get when you guys come here. Chi, hi, I'm new to the page. Awesome. Keep America Great. It's 11 on the East Coast, so usually not on. Vernado, CRV, you're gay. Post some last hi. Clean your room, bucko. I mean, look, from your guys' perspective, okay, look, if I were to point the camera that way, I would understand what you guys are saying, but I'm not an idiot, so I don't point the camera that way. It's over here. And over here, there's just, I mean, there's some stuff in the corner there. And then I have my crutches because I had surgery on my knee a couple months ago. Jay Mosen, why don't whites/Caucasians unite with Muslims to reparate their land, Israel, since Jews insist brown migration is so enriching and great? I don't think, obviously, Muslims don't like Christians either. So Christians should be uniting with Christians. I mean, just the idea of a group siding with other groups that are either trying to use them or kill them doesn't really make any sense. It's just like, you know, I would say, you know, I would say that the Muslims, you know, are trying to wipe everyone out. They're very like old school thinking, you know, BC times type stuff. And then Jews, some would say that they are trying to, since they're a minority, they're trying to manipulate the Christians who are the only, because the Muslims can't be manipulated. So only the Christians can get manipulated and thrown into a war. Are you a Valley boy? No, I'm not a Valley boy. I don't live in the Valley. Let's see. Cripples get gassed on Tuesday. I'm not a cripple anymore, okay? I could walk. David, get Emily to clean your room. I've tried, okay? I've tried. Valentine, what's up? Ken93, what is up? What are y'all talking about? Oh, you know what? Let's just have fun. Okay. So this usually I have like an intro and stuff with the show, but I figured you guys didn't want to sit through an intro because some of you came from the Red Elephants. So why not have, like, instead of listening to my take on the debate, why not listen to some of your guys' take? So I'm gonna go on Discord for any of you guys who don't know about Discord. It's like a little place people go to where we can all join and chat together with like-minded people. We're very homogenous of the mind, and for any people that aren't very very homogenous of the mind, you know, it gets a little fun sometimes. But usually, you know, the same thinking people head in. Okay, so if we have any mods, I would urge you guys to throw the link in there. And for anyone that wants to give their take on the debate, you can come in here and we could have a good, jolly old chat. Like, I mean, I like to have conversations. I don't really want to sit here and just do a Fuentes for like 3 hours or something like that. Yeah, usually I don't do streams on Tuesday, but my schedule has changed, so I can start streaming on the weekdays. And I figured right after, I didn't get a chance to really talk all that much, so why not get my talking out now? Mod me or you are gay. I don't know. You have to prove yourself, Rabbi. I haven't watched you before. What's your deal? What my deal is? Okay, for new viewers, my name is David. I'm a Red Elephant. I've been working for the Red Elephants for about like 2 years now. I was trying to do my own YouTube thing because I saw that there wasn't a whole lot of media supporting Trump. It was mainly all leftist stuff. So I saw like an opportunity to try to help Trump and the movement. And so I created my own YouTube channel. It's called Think Right. And while I was going out doing activism stuff, I was recording stuff. I wanted to get the word out because I would go to events. I remember I went to the San Diego event and people were getting beat up. Fights were breaking out. People got pepper spray. I have those videos on this account actually, like towards like the beginning, and the news didn't cover any of it. I actually got interviewed by the news, and they didn't cover any of it. So I decided to make a YouTube channel to show people what was actually going on. And while this was happening, I met Vincent at a rally, and he can't go to everything. Vincent has a family. He has a lot of things he has to deal with. I'm just a millennial. Us millennials have a lot of time on our hands. So he asked me to start live streaming for him. And so when I looked into him and his organization, I saw that obviously like my YouTube channel had like 10 subs, and his had like at the time, I think it was like 100,000. And I was like, I think going to this new organization might be a little bit smarter. So then I started going to rallies, and I went up to Berkeley during the Battle of Berkeley. I went up to Portland. At one point I almost went to Charlottesville and stuff like that. We sent another guy, Rick Wright, and so yeah, I've been doing a lot of activism stuff. I live stream for the Red Elephants, and that's kind of my deal. And this is my personal channel because the Red Elephants, it was like, I think it was like 6 months ago. We actually we got kicked off YouTube for 3 months because of a strike. And so I decided to come back to my personal channel. And instead of going based off Think Right, which no one knows what that is, I decided to do a poll. And the one that won was the White Elephant. So I renamed it the White Elephants. And this is my own independent thing. I like to have nice, cozy streams. I'll have people on. We'll talk about stuff. It's not very professional. Every now and then we have debates. I like to have people come on. We had a guy named Gregory, and he was talking about why he's against circumcision. He came in, I interviewed him, had some people come on, did a little bit of back and forth, kind of debating stuff, but it's mainly chill, laid back kind of stuff. I do activism. I have like a little show, which I haven't done in a while, where I go around IRL in real life, and I live stream and I talk to people about a certain political topic. So those are the things I do on this channel. And if you like that stuff, if you like live streams, if you like right-wing politics, I don't know if you can see it, I'm very pro-Trump, all that stuff. If you like any of that stuff, I would urge you to subscribe. I'm trying to reach 10,000. That's my only goal. I'm not really trying to hit 100K. If I was a nice little pretty girl, I'm sure I would hit it really fast, but I'm not that. So David, clean your room, bucko. What's up? So Carl Kenner, I like the old streams. Yeah, well, the old streams are over with. So that's never gonna happen again, okay, Carl? Carl is OG. Sweet Aaron Cuckbanks, Alaska. We do talk about drama here. The Red Elephants are very professional. We definitely stay on track. But here we have, well, I wouldn't say Red Elephants isn't free speech, but I would just say it's very they don't deflect off topic. But here we could talk about, so big fire to sweet Aaron. I don't know. Honestly, I would say Aaron is more popular than Baked is now. Like, she went on the RV stream with Ice Poseidon, and some people like her. She probably has more subs than I do at this point. She's probably, I don't know how much money she makes, but oh my God. That Periscope thing I heard about where she was, I don't know how you would describe it. I almost hurled, but she was very handsy with herself. It was disgusting. I don't know how anyone, I don't, I think even she lost whatever fans she had from that. Let's see. Okay, so if you guys want to come in here and talk, I don't care about what. If you look at some of my past stuff, people were talking about giants. We were talking about whether gravity's real, flat Earth. You can. This is like old school Alex Jones. You can come in here. You can talk about whatever you want. You just got to get in the on-air waiting room, and I will pull you in, and we will start talking about stuff. Flip your hair for us. It's getting kind of long, so you kind of had to do that. Hello, Sierra. Aaron was okay. That's nasty. I can't come on. I'm too tired to BH, but I'll listen for a bit. All right, what's up, Alphonsus? He's also someone that comes on quite a bit. So unless someone comes on here and they want to talk, I'm just going to go through the comments. I don't have a story or anything to go over. I just figured some of you guys would probably want to go to another live stream. Guys, it kind of sucks you have a live stream and then you go to nothing. And it's either watching me or it's watching some normie play Fortnite. So, you could weigh the pros and cons however you would like. Would you meet Aaron since you're both in California? No, I would very much not. She looks and acts just like this cousin in my family, and I like my cousin because she's my cousin. But if she wasn't my cousin, so not only that, but I don't know, she's just weird, just utterly weird. Like she seems schizophrenic. Let's crowdfund David a green screen, guys. Yeah, you know what? That seems like an investment that I should make, considering and there's really nothing even back there. There's just look, there's my Deus Vault shield, some crutches. This is like a pull-up bar. I don't want to mess around with that. But if you guys want to come on, Michelle is posting the Discord. You just hit that, and then pull your. Well, if you don't know how to use Discord, it's not gonna be easy. But hey, so how about Trump putting Hillary in the Podestas and the rest in jail? Well, look, I'm not saying it's Trump's fault, but I will say that there must be some sort of problem, right? There must be hey, if you put so and so in jail, you're gonna get Seth Rich, or obviously FBI. I don't know about the CIA, but I don't trust any of those organizations. The FBI for sure is completely all leftist. The justice, all the judges, I don't trust any of them. So even if they try, even if you had evidence, even if you had everything, and you put these people in these situations, for the most part, they would either not go to jail, and then if you had witnesses, they'd probably all disappear, and maybe they would just get hit in the wrist. That's best case scenario for us, is they get hit in the wrist. The dog ran out of the house, and the only other person that could get the dog is my brother, but I think he's in the shower, so hopefully. Yeah, that thing's gonna get hit by a car, I guess. Aaron needs to get gas. Okay, look, because I know some of you guys like the clip stuff. I don't think anyone should. Oh, okay, Carl Kenner's in here. Okay, this will be a fun stream then, because he's a adamant Baked Alaska supporter. He says people mocked Baked Alaska for bringing on Sweet Aaron and said nobody liked watching her. But in reality, Sweet Aaron got a huge number of subscribers from being a Baked. She did not get a huge amount of subscribers from Baked. She got the huge amount from Ice Poseidon. Because when she went on Ice Poseidon's show, the people there, all they care about is like a shit show. They don't really, they're not holding her to a standard. You see, the Baked Alaska crowd, they don't like her because she's a thought. And most of these people are white nationalists, things like that, and they don't like thoughts, and they don't like degenerates, and they don't like things like that. So no one would sub. And the people who did, like, um, they're part of a crowd that probably likes to watch him because he does streaming, not because he's political. If there's even people like that. Let's see what else. If you want me to answer something, either donate or tag me, because I see some of you guys are getting into fights with each other in here, which is it's entertaining. So I mean, there's some people come in here just to fight people. Like, you don't even come to watch me. You probably mute me and then you just fight someone in the chat. Are you a bad hombre? Sometimes. Sometimes. I want a shield. That thing, it's not even a real shield. It's just like cardboard. Because I thought when I went to the Battle of Berkeley, I actually was LARPing without even knowing what LARPing is. And yeah, that dog, I guess, is being difficult. I don't know. Let's see. Hello everyone. Any more opting out stories? Yeah, did anyone? What do you mean opting out? You mean like leaving the left? Da da da. Let's see. Is anyone in the Discord? No, no one's in the Discord. All right. Well, if you guys wanted to come in, I could pull you on and we could debate. We could talk, whatever you want. If not, I'll just talk to the chat. And I think we'll just do that. I'll just interact with the chat. I don't have any stories or anything to go over or anything like that. Let's see. Random question: do you like the show Sons of Anarchy? I watched the last season with my family because they watched it, but I don't know. I never really got into the show. Um, Jim now watches Ice Poseidon. Yeah, I mean, if you like a shit show, that's where you're gonna go. Like like Ice Poseidon seems like a really good guy, but at the end of the day, like, it's just so degenerate, It's like the other day, like, where they start shaving people's heads, and they had like some weirdo homeless guy that seemed like he probably like coked out his brain at some point, and then from what I heard, apparently there was like people. I'm not gonna name names, but like people were doing hard drugs at his house and stuff, and it's just like that environment just seems chaotic. Um, all of these new thought-filled live streams are drugged up degenerates. Yeah, that seems about right. I mean, that's most of probably Twitch, just a bunch of women whoring themselves out for a couple super chats. I saw that Ice Poseidon actually. Now I have a topic to talk about. Oh, not Ice Poseidon. PewDiePie. I saw him in a video, and he was reacting to Twitch thoughts, and he saw this one girl, and he called her a thought because her like tits were way out. And then she was like watching his reaction when he called her a thought, and she got all like super mad, and she just like, oh, can we flag his video? And you could tell like she didn't care about whether what he was saying was right or wrong. All she cared about was he was like talking shit basically, and that was really really annoying. Um, I tapped on a Discord voice chat and couldn't figure out how to exit. What are you, a boomer or something? No, you're not in here. Well, first of all, you can't get in here. You would have to go in the on-air waiting room, and then I'll have to physically pull you over. Well, just go in any waiting room. If you can go in any of the voice channels, I'll eventually just pull you over. Like, I should really get rid of the other ones, honestly. Uh-oh. Alphonse is saying stuff. See, uh, ICE is gonna get sued one day. Someone is eventually gonna get injured or killed. Yeah, I mean, I think it was Mr. Mediker that actually pointed out that on one of the streams, like something could have easily gone wrong, but it didn't. So they're yeah, I would agree that if you're doing IRL stuff, which as someone who does IRL stuff, you're on the brink of like harassing people constantly, and so you really have to make sure you're doing it in a. You really have to know the laws basically, because you're constantly like there's a chance. Like how many times has Ice Poseidon interacted with the cops? You know, I'm not anti-cop, but every time you get into an interaction with a cop, there's a higher chance of something bad happening. Higher chance of getting arrested. You know, you get any situations where it goes down to he said, she said. That's never good. Please subscribe, guys. I see there's a lot of new people here. If you can, I would very much appreciate. You don't look. I'm not even. Don't donate $1. And just if you guys could subscribe, that would be awesome. Because I've done some really good streams before. Like I went to the Grand Prix and I was asking people what their thoughts on the Syria conflict was. And so I was walking around for like 5 hours. I met like 2 Trump supporters. We walked around, had a lot of fun. But it's like I'm doing this good content, and it's like I only have like 20 viewers, and you know, it just kind of sucks, you know, because sometimes you do something good, you go to a big event, like let's say if I go to PlayCon this year, which I'm planning to, if I only go and I have like 10 viewers, it's going to be one of those types of situations, you know. Like I'm not a greedy person, like I know it's going to take time to grow a decent audience, but it is kind of it's just kind of ridiculous, you know, sometimes. Dale Burned Hard subbed. Thank you, Dale. It's not popping up on here for some reason, but I trust you. Someone said they're anti-cop. Do you like Rammstein? There's probably some songs I like. If you guys want me to answer something, Cat subbed. Thank you. If you guys want me to answer something, just tag me. I am pro good cop, anti bad cop. Yeah, I think everyone could agree with that. You make good streams, can't watch many because they're usually 10 to 12 at night here. Yeah, see, here's the thing. I do want to change my schedule, but I'm like the other day I did a stream at like 3 p.m. to like 6, and it was like had like no one. And then I did it again. I'm just whenever I have free time, I try to test to see what's good or bad. I'm a really big Dr. Disrespect fan, and he did a video on how to grow an audience. And he was saying the best thing to do would be to really check your analytics, you know, test things, you know, test the time of day when you get the most. And I have at night, the later I go, the more people I tend to have. And also I've had Asian Andy was in the comments before. I had Omar Navarro, who's running against Maxine Waters, was in here. I've had like Shuttershot. I've had some people. They randomly show up at night. I think people love to just sit back, watch the live stream when it's at night. More so during the day, because during the day people are busy. Caesar, does he want to chat? I wish I could. Can I like? I wonder if I could literally just pull him. If I just hold this, no, I can't do that. Okay. If Caesar did nothing wrong, if you want to come on, join. Just click on one of the voice channels, one of them, and I'll pull you over. It doesn't matter which one you go into. Just go into one, and I'll pull you over. Alphonsus, you're being such a creep in the comments. I see. It is funny though. Drunk trolls are the best. I would say drunk live streams are also the best. I only like to drink alcoholic root beers, and I don't have any today. So. Okay, some of you guys are really going back and forth. Like now you guys are typing paragraphs to each other. Okay, so I guess I'll give my take on the debate. I had to say, talking about Jacob, I thought he was very intelligent. I thought he was a great debater. And this is coming from someone in myself who has watched a lot of Andy Worski streams. I've watched a lot of debates over the course of the last 4 months. And so I've seen a lot of bad debates. And this was a good debate. Mike Enoch's one weakness, though, is that he tends to be a little too powerful, too much dragon energy. So I do think sometimes he does interrupt a little much. Sometimes it was time for Jacob to talk, and Enoch would ask a question or say something, and then next thing you know, he's going off in a tirade. But he has admitted that. So, I mean, I'd rather someone be too powerful than too nice. You know, if you had to take an extreme. I think Mike Enoch is a really cool guy. He has a good show. This is a very laid back stream, so if I could ever get Mike Enoch on here, that would be awesome. Obviously, if he's come onto the Red Elephants, then that means I could get his contact information. But I think this is too. This is like. I think this like the White Elephant is a little probably too low IQ for him. I feel like. Will needs to work on his pill pull skills. Can you give a quick update on Omar and his campaign? Are you and Emily still helping him out? Hello, Teddy. Um, yes, I am helping him out. It's just I've had a lot of like finals and things like that, so it's been difficult the last few weeks. I had like 3 presentations due. I've had a lot of things due. I actually technically kind of like missed the final. So we'll see if I can even do that or what. I should probably check my phone to see if like I see the situation on that one. That's for sure. I just remembered. But I've been really busy. But yes, I'm working with Omar. I'm gonna go to the Herman Cain event with him. I'm gonna help him live stream. Uh, it should be good. So yeah, I'm helping Omar. Very pro Omar, of course. I'm not one of those people that decided to jump ship, and I'm also not one of those people that got kicked out. There was a lot of bad people that tried to come into the campaign. They got kicked to the dirt. But yeah, you'll see me at the Herman Cain event. I've also canvassed for Omar. I've done what I can, basically. Um, Real Ice, alcoholic root beers. What with what liquor? The canned ones or vodka? I don't know what the liquor is, but I like drinking things that taste good. You can only drink straight up vodka so much. Let's see. Let me go down the comments. I got into a couple arguments about Israel yesterday and was called a terrorist for saying I don't think we should support Israel. I can't stand Ziacons, which nearly everyone is in my area. There's a major brainwashing I had to say of Christians, because if you think about the idea of Judeo-Christians, the idea that the founding fathers in this nation was basically created by our founding fathers who were like greatly influenced by Hebrews. I've never heard of such a thing. It seems crazy, and for such a small minority of people that haven't really done much throughout human history, and for the founders to be, oh yeah, they could speak Hebrew and they looked up to the Jews, and I'm like, I don't know about that. This seems like a big ass lie. That seems like a group trying to gain more power is what I see. Um, and then for the Christians to be so like, because look, Christians, there's a lot of Christians, right? There's a lot of Christians, and there's even more, uh, more Muslims. And so Jews are very small. And so the only way that they could really prop themselves up is by jumping onto other groups. And so the only group that's willing to let them do that are the Christians. So they love to get manipulated. That's why I think we see all these Christians that are like super pro-Israel. And it doesn't make any sense because, first of all, if you're Jewish, you think the Christians are heretics, right? You think that in the Talmud, Jesus Christ, who's the Lord and Savior of the Christians, is burning in hell. That's what Jews think. And I think they would think that Christians would go to hell too. So for Jews and Christians to be all buddy-buddy when both groups believe that the other one is like a heretic really doesn't make any sense to me. I also don't understand why Christians support AIPAC so much, because from what I've heard, AIPAC is entirely funded by Christians for the most part. And so I don't know what that is. I really don't. I mean, if these Christians are willing to donate to Jews, are they willing to donate the same to Muslims? It really doesn't make sense to me. Whether the organization is good or bad, they believe in something different than you, right? So I don't really understand that. That's not scholarship. I wouldn't really want to battle that guy by myself, but if he wanted to come on, I'll talk to him. He was trying to say that whites are inferior and shit. And it's like, dude, if you're really looking at things in a physical way, you know, being physically stronger than someone, that mattered like, you know, back in the BC days. But that doesn't mean shit nowadays. If even if you're bigger and stronger than people, that doesn't mean anything. Like really, the people that control this world, that do the best in this world, are the Silicon Valley guys. It's these little nerds that know how to work a computer. Those are the guys that are going to control the world. They're the ones that control all the wealth. That is the new food chain. The people at the very top are these nerdy guys that know how to use a computer. Now the jocks who are fast and they throw a ball, even if you somehow did get into the NFL or NBA, which is super difficult, even if you did, the average time is like what, a couple years that you would last. Um, and then most of these guys don't even know how to handle their money. Just look at like, the Rocky movies. Like after Rocky 3, he just knew how to fight. He didn't know how to control his money, so he put money in the wrong places or he spent too much. And next thing you know, it's gone. Like look at Mayweather, for instance. If he didn't have that fight with Conor McGregor that made him like 100 million, he would probably be close to having to actually start selling stuff. Who knows how much money? I think it was like 25 million he owed to IRS. Like these guys who make money based off athleticism, they don't last very long, and that's just being real. Um, Trump is Zion. Well, you guys have to understand the conservative point of view when it comes to these things. The conservatives believe that you look at Obama and they say, "Oh, Obama low key was like a Muslim." There's a lot of stuff to prove that, and so he did a lot of like anti-Israel stuff, and so a lot of people they'll look at what their enemy is. They'll look and say, "Oh, you're my enemy. You support this, therefore I should be anti that." And literally that's it. They don't think anything beyond that. Like a lot of the people that are like National Socialists, and there's a lot of them running around, and they'll go, "Oh, well, Jews support this, so therefore I should be this." And it's that most people that's their reaction to things. That's how they come up with their policies. That's how they come up for like what religion they should support or their economics or whatever. They say, "Oh, this is my enemy. He's my enemy for all these reasons, and he hates that, so I'll be pro that because he hates that." And that's what I've seen for the most part. And I think when you actually just understand, okay, these people, like you start to understand people and you understand like what they support and then why, and you really look at both sides, I think it starts to become more clear. But with the conservatives, that's how they see it. They see Obama was anti-Israel, and they say Obama's bad for all these reasons, so we should be pro-Israel. Is basically their mindset. But I think the biggest question is just like Jacob was saying, uh, when he brought up the reasons why we should support them, there was no real reasons. He just said, look, this is a place that we can go to. This is like a safe space in the Middle East. And we somehow like make money off Israel. And he was being very vague about it. And I would just say that one, I don't want anything to do with the Middle East. I want to pull all of our soldiers out, bring them to the United States, and push them over to our border. We're being invaded. Like every single illegal that gets in here, they're taking jobs. Their kids they're voting. They're like we're literally being like it's like peacefully invaded, I guess you could say. But they do kill thousands of people though, like Kate Steinle. Their kids are going to schools. How much money does it cost for one of these kids to go get a PhD or something? That's all money out of our pocket. That's like what, hundreds of thousands of dollars, and there's millions of them. I know in California, I think they said it was like 12 million, something like that. At least 3 million of them voted in elections, and of course, they're voting for their own people. As shown in Texas, they showed that there was a Republican and then a Democrat, both white, but then the heavily Hispanic groups there, which are getting bigger and bigger every single day. That's why people say Texas would turn blue. They voted. for their Hispanic candidate instead of the typical establishment white, JFK type Democrat, which is actually why they all voted collectively for that guy. They actually would have taken out the Republican, which is good. There's some pros and cons to identity politics for sure. But yeah, that's my take. I once thought Americanism, not globalism, was an anti-Zion dog whistle. I now know better, so should you. I would just say, look, when it comes to my political beliefs, if I had to aspire to be someone, I would say the closest person would be George Washington. He set up everything, and he was very much an isolationist. And he believed when it came to all this foreign policy stuff, it was basically, we'll trade with everyone, but we'll stay out of their business. Back then, he said, Europe is always getting into wars all the time, right? You had the 100-Year War with France and Europe. These people used to have balls. They used to love to kill each other. Nowadays, they love to just commit suicide, Not very... they're good at direct battles, right? They can bomb Syria to hell, but when it comes to actually like saving their own people from getting raped and all that, they're like we're really good at throwing our own people in jail. And when it comes to Muslims raping people, we're really good at like slapping them on the wrist or just them accidentally getting away, right? Realize, all right, I'm sold. Just that was a little difficult if that was real. Realize, because I've answered like 3 of your questions, but either way, thank you. I do have to say though, if all you guys are subbing, I'm kind of mad at Streamlabs because it is not sending alerts to prove that. So either Streamlabs isn't working, which has happened multiple times, or you guys are trolling me. Jackson did what he did because of Washington. Yeah, Jackson, look, I can't go into like his history very well to the point where I can just go into every single person's David waiting room. Are people in the waiting room? All right, Caesar did nothing wrong to the waiting room. I'll just say, look, I know have the general grasp of things. I don't know everything, that's for sure. I was a normie not that long ago. I remember when I first got into the political spectrum, I didn't even understand the major beliefs, the differences between like conservatives and liberals. So it literally, I think that's why I'm so open-minded to everyone, because it's taken me a long time to really understand everything, and then you start to take a step back and you look at the differences between individuals, collectives, look at history. So I think that's why I'm so open. But let's bring on Caesar did nothing wrong. How goes if Caesar did nothing wrong? Do you have any questions or anything? Well, he might have been waiting for a while, so we'll give him some time. Do you think those countries just turned against their own people by coincidence? Well, I will tell you this. Do you think you could get the Middle Eastern people? Do you think you could, if you were in control of whatever the news and media, do you think you could ever get them to behave the same way the Europeans are behaving? Because I have seen differences in races, and they do say that Europeans tend to think more empathetically. They tend to be more feeling based, and so that's why they say European countries tend to work so well, because they're very feeling based. But the downside to that is they're very easy to manipulate. So I think the only groups that could be manipulated into being that idiotic is probably Europeans.
Yeah, hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Caesar. You have a question? What's up?
Yeah, and I'm
Caesar, I heard you for a second, and then you went out. Are you on push to talk, maybe? Maybe he's on push to talk.
I don't know. I'm on Discord and I'm hearing.
I think you're on push to talk, so whatever you're pushing to talk, hold it down. White Castle tastes good. I've never really eaten at White Castle before, but I have seen the Harold and Kumar movie. Caesar. Well, while he's working on that, oh, he's new to Discord. Yeah, most people are. Just so you guys know, if you're going to join the Discord, just know that it is not safe. I don't think it's as bad as what people claim, though. I did get an email the other day from Discord, and they were saying that, oh, we're not actually going to sell your information. You can either agree to the terms of service or you can opt out. So I don't think things are as bad as what people say, but even if they are, don't post your actual name. Don't post pictures of your actual face. Don't give anyone your address or any of that stuff. Stay anonymous. You could talk very generally, but don't give out your docs. Don't fed post. Don't go. Look, I understand everyone's angry. People don't like how the world's being, how the world is going. But don't fed post. Don't go around saying you're gonna blow stuff up or you're gonna go shoot up, like a Waffle House or something. Don't do that stuff. Okay. I know people are angry. I know you guys don't actually, believe that stuff because you're not idiots. But just don't post that stuff because the minute you post that stuff and you send someone your face at some point, even in a private message, it's not a smart move. It's not high IQ. Jeez, Jolly Roger. Too late for me to stay anonymous, lol. Well, same thing with me for the most part. But just come up with some solid arguments. I know if I ever got like full doxxed or something like that and people were coming after me and I had a typical normie workplace, I would just have really good I would have really good arguments and I'd have really good excuses ready to go. And if you got fired, it's whatever. Just move on to the next one, right? Because that's really all that happens. Whenever someone gets doxxed, like they have a job, they get fired, uh, you know, personal friendships or any of that stuff, usually that's already ended. But if you're like low key right wing, like people don't even know if you're right wing, then you'll lose those things. You lose friendships and maybe like relationships. That does happen. I've heard of it. Um, so you might lose those things. Honestly, those kinds of things I don't really give a shit about. I myself am very much a lone wolf, so I just, I don't really care. I'll say what I want on Facebook. If people want to unfriend me, that's fine. I don't really care. I didn't come into this movie to make friends. David, will you still be my friend? I'd say we are friends, so change the RI to a W, and that will fit a little bit better. That happened to me for running for a local office. Well, you know what? Who really cares? Like I may have lost a lot of friends. I actually belong to some clubs, and people just act weird. Maybe it's a California thing, but they ghost you. So they start to like treat you differently. They don't respond back to shit, and they give off this aura like they don't want to talk to you, which is weird. Because people in the past used to have conversations about why they're not associating with someone, but maybe that's because we live in the age of technology where you could just block someone or stop replying to their shit. And that's kind of how you get rid of somebody. Mm. Myself and 15 other people all lost our jobs at the same time. Well, I don't know. It comes down to what matters more to you, the truth or these little materialistic things, because friends, I don't think most friends are real. And if you have a real friend, they'll look past that shit. And same thing with relationships. But if you're in a relationship with someone where you don't hold the same values, you shouldn't be in it to begin with. Because, like, if you ever look at someone like a liberal and a conservative and they're in a relationship together, it looks like hell. That is constant arguing. Like, from the things I've read, it just seems like hell. And it never works. It never works. And if it does, it's because one person is working full time and they never really see the other one. That's how a lot of like terrible relationships do work. A fun, awkward little stream. Yeah, this is what it is. Well, this isn't like typically this is a little bit more organized, but I figured the best way of doing it would just be to start the stream up. Alphonse, but David, people were telling me I'm probably ugly and vaginal looking, so I had to post my face. Well, you know what? Look, if you oh fuck. All right, we're back up. I need to find something better for it to like sit on top of, so that the bottom section can breathe better, and so it doesn't heat up. But it's either that or Streamlabs, because I was on the Google Hangouts and I never had a problem. So could have been the Google Streamlabs. A cookie cooler. Get a fan. Well, it has a fan. It's just I need to give it room to be able to breathe. But because the fan is on the bottom of it. So yeah, it's kind of random. Sometimes it does it, sometimes it doesn't. David, you need to get Kenny back on. Yeah, I think I basically should, honestly. Well, look, I have Caesar in here, but well, let's see. It says RTC disconnected, so let me rejoin. Hello, Caesar. All right, let's pull over. Why am I? I'll pull him over too. Hello. Oh, he ran. He ran. Oh, John Litzy's in here. Get a girlfriend. Get a girlfriend. Oh man. He's like our sole troll. I think he's an anti-Trumpy person. Shows up all the time talking shit. You guys should say what's up to him. External fan of cool surroundings as well. Yeah, I guess that's a good idea. The cookie cutter can go up 1 inch or 3 inches. Works great for me. The cookie cutter? Is it like, are you saying an actual cookie cutter, or is there something called that? I can't, John. I'm vaginal looking. Yeah, you guys are cool. I like how I asked you guys to do something. You're actually doing it. Usually the people in here are just like assholes and they don't like listen to me. Anti-Trump is an understatement. Yeah, he's full on suicide. There's when you're a leftist, that means you're pro destruction and you're pro suicide. And I don't mean of a person, I mean of a nation and its people, because that's what happens. That's the ideas of the left. You have right-wing ideas that create nations, that brought about Rome going from a village to an empire. And then what destroyed the empire was the whole leftist mindset. Why do people bring up QAnon all the time? And it's like always like boomers saying, "Hey, did you hear Q say something?" And it's like, this is gonna go down soon. I'm like, what was that? QAnon? I don't know what that is. All right, we're gonna play a game since you guys are cool. I like everyone here. Press 1 if okay, let's do this. How about you guys type out your religion? Say like Buddhist, Hindu, Muslim, Christian, Catholic, Jewish, pagan. If you guys are any of these things, I'd like to do like a small little poll. Carl's atheist. Oh, okay, I forgot atheist because I don't really like those people. Different types of Christians in here. Sia Michelle, you are the best. Don't you ever forget that. Christian CX. I bet you're not even actually like a part of the Perp Army. Agnostic. Progressive is a stupid political term. Might as well say commie. Yeah, probably. Lutheran, Christian. God's child. I don't fall under religion. Sounds pretty edgy. Agnostic, Catholic, agnostic, but Christian traditions. Okay, so you would say that religiously you are literally an agnostic, but when it comes down to culturally, you would say you're a Christian. Classic Christian, not this. Okay, so you're not a Judeo-Christian then. Michelle's a pagan. When people say pagan, though, I wonder, like, does that mean, like, because there's different types of pagans, right? It's like the ancient Greeks who believed in Zeus were obviously different than the Nordic people that believed in Odin. So, I mean, it's always kind of the same, though. They're very manly. They're very manly religions, and they have a lot of stories and things like that. So, I mean, they're similar, but I mean, the people are similar in like a sort of genetic way. Here is a question. Okay, so we mainly have Christians in here, is what I would say. So I'll refrain from, talking about, any, real criticisms towards them. That'd be stupid to go against your own crowd. Did someone leave? Because I heard a sound. Okay, so let's. Why am I? He doesn't want to talk. All right, he doesn't want to talk. So Caesar wanted to talk. He kind of did, but his mic didn't work. And then I pull over Why Am I? And he is not down whatsoever. So that sucks. Just so you guys know, my computer does act up. I always come back within like 30 seconds. But in case somehow it just blows up, I would say subscribe now while you have the chance. Don't want to forget. Did you play God of War 3? I have. The only God of War I played was God of War 2. I don't. It's like I have a love-hate relationship with that game because the game's graphics are awesome. Like probably the best graphics out of any game I've ever seen. The storyline is kind of garbage. It's like very, oh well, Ares, he betrayed me and he went after my family. Therefore, I have to kill him. And then the gods betray him. And he's like, I have to kill them too. And I don't like the storyline, but it has great fights. Graphics are awesome. I would say the graphics are the best part of those games. I have not played God of War 4 yet, but yeah, God of War 2 I did play. The rest I did not play, but I think those games are awesome. I just don't like the storyline of it, and I think it's too brutal. It's like like I would like to see them make a God of War game where they're like where you see Kratos like beating the living shit out of Muhammad for like fucking 5 minutes because there's a part where you're punching Zeus and you just keep hitting this button where you just keep punching. So, I mean, I don't think they would ever do that. Of course, they'll go after European gods. They'll go after Zeus. They'll go after Odin. They might. I don't think they'll ever do it, but I'm sure they would try to go after they could never do it though. But if they had to, they would rather go after, Jesus Christ and the Christians than they would anyone else. What's up, Shadows and Dust? Let's see what Carlos say. He always has something to say. I remember when you did a poll about whether people believed in evil spirits, like Big said, and you thought everyone would agree with you. I don't remember that happening, but I don't have the best memory. But if you were to watch one of his live streams, he literally did claim that people who were against him were evil spirits, and that he was being attacked on some sort of like religious plane. So. Holy shit, they would burn down Santa Monica if that ever happens. Yeah, it's bad. I know when I grew up in California, it was never very white. There are some white people here and there, but not every single white person has the same amount of wealth. But yeah, it's very heavily Latino, this whole area. The difference really is between the light-skinned Latinos and the dark ones. Dark ones might as well be illegals. That's what they basically are. And then the light-skinned ones are usually the ones that came here legally. And they're pretty cool people. I grew up with mainly light skinned Latinos, that and like dirty looking white people. I say that in the way that they look a little like mestizo, sort of. Um, didn't beg to have an exorcism live stream. I wouldn't be surprised. I actually messaged Andy Worski about that, and he was laughing. I said, "Hey man, Baked is having a live stream where he's literally calling you an evil spirit. You better watch out. He might want to exorcise you. You know, he might want to baptize you." And he was laughing really hard at that. Castizo. I know some good Latinos. No one's saying like a whole group of people are bad. We're just saying that there's a lot of them that are doing bad things. Like no one's saying like, oh, Latinos, they're also bad people. Like no one would even care if they were being respectful of our country. La 56%. Yeah, I am not 56%, just so you guys know. To the people in the Discord, I've shown them my DNA several times. I am the same percent of European that Gilgamesh is God. So that is my answer to that question. David, in my new job, I'm going to be doing security at some pretty spooky places. What do I do if I see a ghost? You're the Christian guy. I think you know how to deal with the supernatural, right? You know, I used to be Catholic, but I'm not Catholic anymore. So I'm pretty sure if I were to hold up a cross, it wouldn't have the same power as if when you hold up a cross. So I'm sure, you know, just if you see a ghost, I don't know, try to baptize it or something. Rebuke it in the name of Jesus Christ, Alphonsus. Yeah, I know. This guy's he's trying to become a priest and he doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know what to do with the supernatural. I mean, that's the only reason I would ever want to become a priest. But because I'd be like, I would want to go into being like an exorcist. Like, that's the only cool thing there is, I think, in the whole religious stuff. You know, be like a Constantine. Baptize the ghosts, yep. Spooky ghosts are spooky, though. I don't know about that. Like, guys, no one's ever really done paranormal live streams. So I think I might jump into that crowd. I might show up somewhere that's pretty haunted and maybe go with a group of people. I think that'll make it funner. And I could just camp out there for the night and then take turns walking around with the camera. I think that would be really fun. Like live streaming paranormal stuff. I think that's pretty. I think that's, yeah, that would be cool. See, that would be cool. See, Will Strong knows what's up. You know, and you try to get the ghosts to come around, and yeah, and then we could have I could have a Bluetooth speaker, and you guys could donate shit. What? Please don't. There are a ton online already and are very cringy. You mean people go to haunted houses and they live stream it? I've never heard of that before. The paranormal isn't real though. Well, you say that now, but have you been anywhere haunted before? That's the question I would ask you. Is there gay ghosts? Well, I mean, Carl Kenner's in the chat, so I think that answers your question. Plenty of videos of ghost hunting. Yeah, but ghost hunting is pre-recorded. You know, they go into places, they record it, and then it's pre-recorded. That is my point. So I'm just saying, like, if we go in somewhere where it's live, that would be different. You know, there's a huge difference between live and pre-recorded. Ghosts are demon spirits. Open borders for ghosts is what I always say, though. I don't know what your guys' position on that. No, that's what I'm saying. There's plenty of streams of such. Really, I'll have to look into that. Realize I've never heard of that. I've never seen it. Either way, even if it is very congested, I still think it would be fun to do though. Yes, I've seen live set. Yeah, but those are fake though. Those are fake. They'll do. I actually okay. Now I think about it, I have seen like they're at a house and then they'll have a Ouija board or something. But I'm talking about going somewhere actually kind of spooky and then live streaming. Paranormal is real. I wouldn't mess with it. So let's do this. Press 1 if you think ghosts exist, and press 2 if you think they do not exist. Ghosts can't drink our water, so they couldn't be turned gay. That's funny. White ghosts commit less crime. Oh man. You can't. Oh, okay. I thought some of you guys were voting twice. Man, fuck you, Alphonsus. There's always one retard that presses 3. Oh, look at Caesar. He's one too. I don't know. It's like right down the middle. I feel like there might be a couple more 2s though. So there's more people that believe that the ghosts don't exist than they do. But I don't know, like how many people have actually gone somewhere to try to, like, I feel like you can't say if something tastes good or bad if you've never tasted it, right? So if you haven't experienced something, then you don't necessarily know. So ghost lives matter, or their lives did matter. The water's turning the ghost gay. I should change. Let me change the name of the live stream to Surprise Tuesday stream. And I'll put comma gay ghosts. I don't know what else were we talking about. Anything else? Okay, I'll just do, and the water is turning the ghost gay. So I'll flip these around. Oh, whoops. Surprise Tuesday stream, and the water is turning the ghost gay. Okay, that's a good title right there. Okay, so no one wants to join the Discord, so that's fun. It's actually pretty interesting. I feel like once we have a really big audience, though, I'm sure we'll have a lot of people want to join in constantly. Alphonsus, there's that Christian pervertedness coming out of you. Hey, no ghost has ever called me Goyim, so I'm good with them. You've looked into orbs. I have felt family members come back to see me after death. They come in electricity. Interesting. Zyklon, ghost water. I hate Seinfeld and Bagel Bites. I mean, I grew up with Bagel Bites. They were pretty good. And Seinfeld's actually a pretty good show. I would understand why you would not like both of those, though. Wouldn't it be the chemtrails turning the ghost gay? I know it's probably turning the clouds gay. Fucking trying to get live on Discord. I would join, but I'm not good on the spot and people are sleeping. Ah, shit. Talmudic ghosts. Well, I mean, to Jay Moson's point, I would say most people say that animals don't have souls, and they actually weigh people. They did this experiment, and some people, when they died, they would lose a pound, and they couldn't figure out what that pound was. And they did the same experiment with animals, and they didn't lose any weight. So they suggested that if we did have a soul, I guess your soul would weigh a pound, whereas with animals, they don't have a soul because they didn't lose a pound. Pizza rolls, bagel bites. All right, time for Betty Bye. Father Alf needs his beauty sleep. All right, see you, Alphonsus. Danny Phantom is actually a good show, though. I actually met the creator of Danny Phantom. At the time, I was in high school and I was kind of a retard, but I did get his signature. Who knows? He does go out a lot. Maybe I'll have a chance to talk to him again in my lifetime. Ghost sightings suddenly stopped happening once everyone had a camera in their pocket at all times. Well, yeah, but like ghost sightings are only seen usually in weird places. think some cats are about to fight outside. Jews say Gentiles don't have souls in the Talmud. I'll have to check that out. It's probably water weight. Yeah, but if it was water weight, they would have saw. Obviously, they would have pissed and shit themselves. Um, Wrong again, Dave. It's 21 grams. Pretty sure it's a pound. Only the chosen people have souls. Goyim, everyone else is disposable. It's like UFOs. There are so many fakes out there. Even if you're looking at a pic/vid of the real thing, you wouldn't know it. Funny stuff. All right. Well, I have to say, if no one's going to, I like the comments. You guys are really cool. The crowd that came in. But I had to say, without a topic like I usually have, and without people coming into the Discord to come chat, keep the conversation going, it's just gonna be me talking to or reacting to the comments. So, I mean, if you want, I could keep doing this, but I think it would get a little boring at some point. I will have to say to all 32 of you, if you guys could please subscribe, I would very much appreciate it. I mean, I have a good chat right now. Like usually I have a good solid crowd of people that come on the Discord and stuff when they know things are happening, but I don't usually see the comment section moving so quick. So that's actually nice to see that it's somewhat professional. It's not like an Ice Poseidon thing where it's just flying by constantly, but it is moving, pretty nicely. So what do you think about the debate tonight? Well, I had no idea who Jacob was, so it was my first impression of him. But he seemed to be a well speaker. I think I really based everything off his final take on Israel and why America should be allies with it, and I thought it was extremely weak. I'm not going to ally with someone just because I might make a few bucks more if we have to go to war for them, and if these people are causing trouble constantly. If I have a friend, they're constantly getting me into fights, I'm not going to really want to be that guy's friend, because it's like, dude, I don't want to be fighting every 2 seconds because you just keep talking shit. Like, every 2 seconds, you're causing problems. I don't care if my wallet is a little bit bigger because of you. And he was very vague on that point, too. I didn't know, he brought up, a prescription company, and it's like, dude, no one nowadays is pro-prescription companies. No one likes the pharmaceutical industries. They're not very good. So I would say for us to want to be allies with them, I didn't really see anything, because if you want to be allies with someone, it's based off value, right? What are you going to give me that I couldn't just get on my own? And there's nothing there that I would say that we need from Israel. That is that we have to be allies with them. I think Israel causes a lot of trouble. I'm not anti-Israel. I'm not anti-Jew. I'm just looking at it from a pragmatic perspective. I don't see that Israel is giving us anything that we can't get from somewhere else, and definitely that we can't just make ourselves. So if we have an ally that's causing, that's constantly, causing trouble, I don't want my people to have to go to war for them. I don't want to have anything to do with the Middle East. We should pull out all. If I was the president, if I was the God Emperor, I'd pull everyone out, send them right to the border, so that they could stop the caravans. And I would say, look, if you're going to illegally come over here, I don't care if you have a baby or what. A bullet for your baby and a bullet for you too. That's what I would say. No more of this whole, we're going to send judges to to the border. I would say, no, I'm going to send the soldiers, and we're going to have a red line in the sand. And if you go across that red line, you're going to be shot. It's that simple. You're an invader. That's it. That's what I would say. I got banned from your Discord, probably for good reason. Do you debate people or want to debate people? I've never been I usually get into debates with people on Twitter and Facebook and stuff like that. I've never been in a proper debate oh, this is David and he's blah blah blah. He's from the White Elephants and he's going up against blah blah blah. I've never done that. I don't think there's any major points that I would. The only time I like to do that kinds of stuff is when it comes to the drama. when it comes to talking shit. So when Baked was when he was being exposed, I got on the Kumite and I exposed him as well. But for the most part, there's like no, like I'm not Mr. Anything so much that I like go on somewhere and debate it. And whatever beliefs I have, there's someone else there that could debate it better. So I wouldn't be against it, but like you wouldn't see me. I think it'd be awkward of me to show up on, let's say on the Red Elephant and I debate someone, or if you see me on Andy Warski and I debate someone. Like I like to just chill and talk about stuff. So this is a very laid back, chill stream. Uh, if you're gonna see me debate someone, it's probably gonna be face to face. I do a lot of activism work too, so I don't do like if you saw me debate someone, it'd probably be face to face more so than this online stuff. I wouldn't be against it. I just think it'd be a little weird for me to do it though. Carl Kenner, you don't know what you're talking about. You are autistic. I know better than you. We've discussed this. Okay, you're being manipulated because you are a person that is who thinks of his feelings rather than his brain. So you are easily manipulated, and you do not know what you're talking about. Do you listen to our music? Okay, I would say that I use Zurius for this channel. I do know that Zurius is a place where like he wouldn't like copyright me or anything. So I use his music. I have his link in the description of all my videos. I use his stuff. I don't actually watch or listen to all of his music. So if I post up a video or a song of his and it starts quoting or someone starts, I don't know, saying stuff, I don't listen to every single one. So that's the main thing. I was actually going to end this at an hour, but the viewers tend to. Oh, okay. There's a lot of people in the waiting room now. Okay, so let's see. Okay, I'll bring over Caesar again. Let's see if he fixed his stuff. Hello, Caesar. Cesar. Cesar. I don't know. Can you guys hear him? Because I see that his mic was. Hello? Huh. Am I. I wonder if the chat can hear you because I could see your thing you're lighting up. Can anyone listen? Can anyone hear Caesar? All right, they can't hear you either then. Yeah, Discord isn't the best, but unless one of you guys wants to come up with something better, I don't really know. All right, let's pull over. Who wants to come over here? Okay, that Martin guy. Okay, let's pull over. Um, Here, let's pull over the Martin guy. Hello. Oh, he can't even hear me. He's probably still messing with his stuff. All right, we'll pull over Carl. What's up, Carl?
Hello.
Oh, okay, there we go. I was thinking there was something wrong with everybody. All right, Carl. What do you want to talk about?
I don't know.
Well, because rehashing the whole Bakes situation is a little, I think I think we all have landed an elbow or two on that guy. So I don't know if we want to start to rehash that whole thing again. Carl, I'll ask you, what's your opinion on Candace Owens? Carl.
Sorry, my sound's a bit weird here, so I can't quite hear what's going on.
Okay, can you hear me?
I can hear you now, yes.
Okay, so what are your thoughts on Candace Owens?
I don't really trust her because of the doxing website.
Okay, so would you say that she should be exposed and we should get rid of her, or not?
I don't know 100%. It's possible that she's legitimately on our side now.
So you think people can do really bad things and then change because they said so?
It's possible.
So let's say you were in an organization and you saw someone that was part of the enemy team and they came over and they said that they wanted to be on your team now and they did good deeds. What would you like, how would you know if they were a spy or if they were actually like on our side or on your side?
I wouldn't know. I'm probably too trusting.
So you would have no way to be able to figure out the difference between someone that actually changed their colors and someone who is a spy and they want to take advantage of you.
I don't know. I'm not good at that.
Well, you see, like when we talk about these merchant type of conversations, like, you know, if you're not very good at knowing if someone's trying to use you or not, you should, you know, probably not give an opinion on that kind of stuff.
Well, I'm not sure that other people are very good at it either.
Well, I know I'm really good at it.
Are you sure?
Yeah, and then here's the reason why. I've actually predicted, not really on like spies or things like that, but I can tell based on someone's behaviors whether they're in it for the right reasons or not. And I predicted a lot of things that happened in the YouTube community, like ever since the Bake situation. I knew that him and the Bloodsports community would implode because he implodes everywhere he goes. So I definitely called that. People in my Discord and things like that all knew. They agreed, but I was the one that specifically called it, and I was also the one that called the split between Andy Worski and JF. I could tell that there was a crack in the relationship and it never healed. So I was able to call that one because I told people and I said, "Hey man, hey guys, I think this they're gonna break up and it's gonna be bad." And people were like, they always do that. It'll be fine, whatever, whatever." And then when it finally did happen, I said, "See, like I can kind of predict people's behaviors. Like, um, not only that, but I'm really good at. I could always kind of I could always spot merchants. I could spot like people trying to, you know, subvert the movement or trying to just make a buck off things. I'm very good at it, and a lot of people are good at it too. Because the people that have tried to subvert it, for the most part, all of them are gone. They've all been shamed. Most of them don't know what they're talking about. They try to go on debates and go up against people that do know what they're talking about, and they got destroyed. Uh, you know, they don't really know what they're doing. All they know is good. There's no such thing as bad press. And so a lot of these people are just have been utterly thrown in the trash can, so to speak. Tree of Logic goes into the back of the gas chamber. I don't know why people dislike her, but I think she did say she was Jewish, so I can see why you guys wouldn't like her. But Dave, you still haven't figured Trump out. No one knows. No one has figured out Trump. Um, no one knows exactly who's in his ear. Obviously, we know Bolton's in his ear. We know Kushner is, but we don't know to the degree. So, you know, people just jump to conclusions. JF is better off without Worski. I would say so, but at the same time, we have to understand that Worski is going to be fine long term, whereas JF, we have no idea what's going to happen. He flipped a coin when he decided to go his own way, and he is making money and he is doing well, but it's only been like a week or 2 weeks since the breakup, and you can only talk about alt right topics for so long until it gets boring. You know, even on Worski Live, it was really boring to hear people talk about the ethno state and what is white every 2 seconds. Even their views were starting to diminish. So if that is going to be JF's whole channel, is just talking about, you know, like no drama, just pure political stuff and probably specific to the alt right. I think in the long term, I think people are gonna, you know, the hardcore people will be there, but I think for the most part, most people are just gonna get bored unless he's going to be debating people, which is what he's known for. What's your thoughts, Carl?
Sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
You wasn't paying attention. All right. Well, Caesar's not talking, so I'm going to pull him back. Caesar, I'll give you one last chance to talk. If you cannot talk, I will have to throw you in the gas chamber. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, he's gone. All right. So who we're going to pull next? I see MK Ultra's there. He's always a ball of fun, but I do want to hear some new people. So I'll probably. Oh, someone left. Who was that? I was gonna pull someone over. Who was that just left? Damn. Someone just left. I forgot who it was, but I was about to pull them over. Oh, I think it was Generation Zyklon I was about to pull over, and then he left. Okay. Let's pull over Marn one more time. If he leaves, then I'll stop trying. Oh, he's a knicker. Okay. What's up, Martin? All right, I'm going to give you the 5-second rule. 5. I'm sure you're going to leave before it's over, though. 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. All right, he could hear us, too, so I don't know what to tell you. Let's see what the chat is saying. What are they saying, Carl? You want to tell me what the chat's saying?
Sorry, I wasn't paying attention to the chat either.
Carl, you make me want to choke you sometimes. You know that.
Sorry, I just got distracted.
What are you getting distracted by? You have like hentai in the other tab or what?
No, I was just looking at the Discord.
What's going on in the Discord? Something going on in there? Nothing's going on? All right, so I'm going to pull out our last resort. I'm going to pull over MK Ultra, and we'll get his take on things. Medicare Light, what is up?
I love how I'm the nice last result.
Well, I did want to bring on some new people. You know, get them more invested in the streams. But
well, I was going to say, Martinelli's actually, I'm sitting with him. Well, I'm not sitting with him right now. He literally just left the room, went to the bathroom, and then, like, as soon as you pulled him in, he was like, damn, son, going to the bathroom and do not want to unmute mic. So,
all right, as
soon as he gets back, if you want to pull him in, actually, if you want to pull him in now, if he's in call waiting, because he can actually do that, and then I'll put myself on mute.
Oh, so it's not echoing, you mean? All right, he left. Okay.
I think he accidentally disconnected again. Hang on, don't push any buttons this time. He'll auto switch.
Oh wait, I can't hear him. Can you guys hear him? Carl, can you hear him? Carl Kenner.
Yep.
Can you hear Martin? I can't hear him. Carl Kenner Clan. I can't hear anybody. This is weird. Carl, can you hear him? Carl's like, he's like, just like fapping right now, I think. I think he's straight up fapping right now. He's like, I think.
That's not happening.
Are you fapping? I swear, if you're raping a kangaroo again, like, you can't do that when we're on the show. All right? You can do what you want when we're off the show, but. Yeah, I think Carl's doing some VR of a certain group.
So can you hear Mart here? Mart, whatever his name is?
No, I can't. Can you hear him?
I hear him.
Okay.
That's why I wasn't talking.
Okay, so let me pull him out and pull him back in then. Hello.
All right, push to talk. Do I need to talk louder?
No, I can hear you now.
Can you hear him now?
Yeah. What's your question?
Okay, so it may just be voice distance.
So I see you're a Nick Fuentes fan. Is that true?
And then see something to you.
What's that? Oh. All right, I'm going to be honest. I don't know who the fuck that is.
So why is the last part of your name Nicker?
Oh, yeah, just trying to fit in, apparently. I don't know. Doing some inside joke.
Oh, gotcha. That's fucking medical light.
It's in K right now. But I told him to change it to Nicker just to get an extra chuckle.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's one way to fit in. I mean, those people have definitely come across our border in a caravan, so you'll fit right in.
All right, so what's going on right now with the stream? What are we talking about? I was just taking a piss, so.
Nothing really. My streams, they're kind of like the show Seinfeld. There's really no point. I just kind of come on. Maybe I might have some topics to talk about, and I just interact with the chat. So it's whatever you want to talk about. If you want to talk about reptiles, subterraneans, giants, what's in the water, chemtrails, it's entirely up to you.
All right. What's your heritage?
My heritage, it is So I would say, do you want like percentages, or do you want like?
Hey, I mean, if you know percentages, I got percentages for myself.
Yeah. So percentages. So I am 75% European, and then I am 8% Filipino, then I am 16% Native American, and yeah, that's basically it. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'm 100% European, 50% Scandinavian. What was it? There's a percentage that is like broadly European, according to the thing I took. That makes up the excess, but I'm British and Irish, which those are around 25%.
Gotcha. So you got the Conor McGregor blood.
Yeah, a little bit. Also got the tall genes from the Scandinavian. I'm 6'5", so.
Yeah, isn't that where the mountain is from? I think Scandinavia. No.
Yeah, I think he's from Iceland. He's from Iceland, but same genes, I think.
Yeah, those people have really good genes. Fuck, if you want to make somewhere like an ethno state, probably go to Iceland and take that shit over because they got really good genes.
I mean, they're already pretty ethnographically homogenous.
Still, but unless they know about what's happening and they have the mindset to be able to fight it in case someone were to go there and try to fuck with it, they don't have the ability to be able to fight that, So, I mean, that's the thing, right?
Yeah, you're saying like they wouldn't know what's coming.
Yeah, I mean, they'll be hit like any of the other Europeans. They have, from what I've heard from about white people, they have like high empathy rates. So, they have mafiols. So that's how certain people take advantage of them. And if they don't understand their weaknesses and understand how groups can play on those weaknesses, they have no way of defending against that kind of mental assault.
I mean, you might be right there, but from what I understand about it, they're pretty rooted in tradition. Like their Icelandic names are still basically Old Norse type names. They do the like Stor Son or whatever. Like I forget what is this Thorjan Bjornsson or something like. I forget what his name is, but that goes off of what his dad was named.
Yeah, that's
so. I feel like the tradition might help. Quash any outside influence and change their culture at least.
Yeah, that's good, but I had to say if you want to make I mean, there's some places you can go like Maine and some other places in the United States if you want to make an ethno state. But if you also wanted to just say, hey, let's just leave. I mean, just from a genes perspective, like we talked about, the mountain just became the world's strongest man of 2018. And then there's also this other woman who has won the CrossFit competitions. I think her name is Thor as well, something like that. And she's won some of the world's strongest or the CrossFit competitions. So they have some really good genes. So coming from kind of a eugenics point of view, which is coming from an athlete's point of view too, because that's how they think, whether you like it or not. They should definitely do something with Iceland. I know Gunnar Nelson for any anime or MMA fans. He's from Iceland.
He's pretty good.
I actually met him in person. I used to work at a UFC gym, and he came in, and it was kind of awkward because I get whenever I see someone, what's that called? What's that called?
Famous, like a celebrity or like big figure.
Yeah, I turned into like just like, oh my god. So like I didn't really get to say. I know Conor McGregor was actually in the locker room too. He came to this gym. He was training there because Nate.
Yeah, because they're training partners.
Yeah, so Conor McGregor was actually in the locker room, and I was in there. And I don't want to like fangirl or anything like that, or be that fucking asshole. Oh, can I get a selfie? Because it's such a selfish thing. Because these guys are trained, they just want to be left alone, right? So I try to put myself in that point of view. But I looked, and he was in the locker room, and I look, I was like, oh my god, it's Conor McGregor. And then I guess he was like naked walking around, so all I saw was his ass. And then he like turned the corner. So then I was like, oh, well, I kind of saw Conor McGregor, and then I just kind of left. But
I mean, he had a nude photo shoot with some fucking sports magazine. I saw like screenshots. I was like, I can't believe this guy. He's got so much ego.
Yeah,
Hey, he backs it up. He's thrown down some pretty good fights.
Yeah, I mean, if you have to look up to any Europeans, if you need someone to look up to, Conor, like the Mountain, these are guys you could try to strive to be. Like, I think Conor in the past would be he would be like an Alexander the Great. He'd be like, he's this personality. Let's take all these people out. He's got all this ambition. He doesn't cock, right? Like he'll fucking grab a chair with a bunch of his dudes and collectively go after this Russian dude. If we had more white guys like that, we would not be in the situation that we are.
I personally, it's MK, but I feel like that's almost a bad reference. Come on, if we're gonna pick an idol here, we got to go with the old Adolf, like the ultimate anti-cock. Like, I mean, listen, he didn't lose according to JFK assassination documents that have like been released by the CIA. Oh. He supposedly died in Argentina in 1965, and they're still looking for him. So I don't think that's much of a loss.
My refutation of that is he failed in creating his German ethno-state. So, yeah, he lost.
Yeah, so even if he survived and went to South America, just, doing that whole Billy the Kid, like, oh, he didn't die. He actually, like, had a family and lived into old age and then died. I mean, that's, like, not a full loss, but that's nowhere near a win.
Yeah, I'd rather go out in my shield, like, it's at least I think that him committing suicide is probably reasonably viable. Like, I mean, would you want to live the rest of your life in like not misery, but what are the words? Like
infamy,
defeat. Like, do you want to live it like, oh, I'm not going to be this big leader anymore, then have to live with the fact that you failed, or get captured and basically become a public example? You just kill yourself and take your life in your own hands.
Yeah, I don't know. People bring that up, but I mean, if you were just by yourself, if I was by myself and I was in his position, I'd probably just go out grab the nearest guy next to you and try to take out a few of them with you, kind of thing. But if you have a wife that you love, and things like that, you might, it's tough to think about that. But I mean, he
yeah, it's like what's more important to you, the life of your family or like your pride? And I feel like a lot of people is not going to put their pride in front of their own family.
Yeah, so and which is a good thing, but it can be a bad thing. Like, I think a lot of conservatives think that way, which is why they never speak up or do anything, because they're afraid of like getting doxxed or losing their job. So they just keep their heads down. It's always the left that are always out there. Like, they're willing to lose.
Yeah, I agree for sure. The public opinion, like, you get roasted for not having if you voice certain opinions.
Yeah, but even when
not just roasted, like they'll ruin your life, like you said, lose your job, get fired.
Yeah, and even when the right is in control of the country, like with when Reagan was around, it was like red. Even then, they don't have the ability to maintain it or to keep it over, like because you have to be in an authoritarian mindset to be ambitious, to want to like gain power, to censor other people, to beat your enemies. That you have to be like an authoritarian mindset, which the right doesn't have. Like if you just want to be left alone, the libertarian mindset or the low government mindset, usually that's just like, hey, let me just do what I want, leave me alone. And those kinds of people, they don't control things. They get controlled, unfortunately.
Yeah, I feel like there's what is it? There's a part of like the fact that we're in a democracy right now. You have to, was it? So with like voting blocks, like the black population generally votes like, what was it? Last election was like 98% for Obama, and it was fairly slanted towards Hillary this election too. Whereas the white population and for some extent the Hispanic population don't vote as one block. So the people are generally taught to be more accepting of others. Like, oh, we can't say anything offensive about the other races or anything like other groups even. So.
Yeah, I mean, you don't really hear too many people, even Hispanics, when they come out and they say something about someone, they do kind of get lit up too. It's not as much as whites, obviously, but oh, we're getting some subs. That's awesome. I think that's the most I've ever had on a stream where it's popped up. I've had 3 subs, because it doesn't always pick up all the subs, but that's nice. But obviously, all the groups are ethnocentric because they all believe that a nation equals a people. So they believe that if someone looks like them, they probably hold the same values. So that's why they're always voting.
I think
for
that
people.
Stems from something biological or something along those lines. Just growing up on a farm, we had goats, and we got a couple different breeds of them, and we raised them from kids, and they generally the ones that looked the same were sticking together. I don't know if it serves like an evolutionary advantage. Like it's harder to pick one out from the crowd. Like the odd one is the one the predators go after. So I think it's. I haven't read about it in any literature, but it speaks to my understanding of the way things work.
Yeah, I know there's differences in biology. Like whites are more empathetic, and then they show how like blacks have higher impulse. That's why they commit more crime and higher testosterone and things like that I've never heard of. Like little things. Like obviously we all have brains. IQ differences there's IQ differences for sure. We're all different physically, but there's also differences in like we talked about emotions and bone density. I know blacks have denser bones than whites. That's why they don't swim as well.
Yeah. I think there's probably like if you compare like American blacks with African blacks, they may have better I don't know, like better stats, to use video game terminology, but I feel like that probably stemmed from like you don't want weak slaves if you're going for manual labor.
Yeah, I also know that I saw that this guy named some black guy, he's a YouTuber and he's right wing, and he brought up how like, oh, the alt-right, they're always like claiming that blacks are dumb and they have all the race and IQ stuff. But he's like, but you don't see like, but you can't explain why like sub-Saharan blacks have lower IQs than American blacks. And he's like, see, there's a difference. And he tried to say it was because of blacks in America have better education than the ones. So he was kind of saying it has to do with the way you're treated. But then at the same time, the blacks in America,
I think nutrition also plays a decent factor in like if you grow up malnourished, you're not going to have the same neurological development. So that could also play a factor.
Yeah, but with American blacks, they're heavily mixed. There's no such thing as a pure American black. They're like 20.
Yeah, you do have a point. That's true.
They're like 20% or maybe more. I don't know. Like from what I've seen, like at least 20% European. They're also mixed with Native Americans. So they're this new breed of people, and so that's why the Africans don't like them. That's why they can't go back to Africa because they're not the same. They don't look like it. They're like brown. They're not black. You go to Africa, there's actually black people. And they have completely different
European admixture.
Yeah, so that's why like when Spencer brings up the whole fact of like, oh, maybe we'll give blacks Florida because they literally have nowhere else to go because no one wants to take in American blacks and not even Africans won't like them. So,
Yeah, and you would want to put the people with darker skin south just because of like vitamin D and whatnot. Like I've heard apparently it's a common thing for people that are like blacks in England, which has clouds all the time, end up with vitamin D deficiencies and depression and whatnot. So that would help just from that level as well.
Yeah, I know a lot of people have been saying, like, I think, they showed a report that depression is increasing, and I think they showed that, like, vitamin D levels contribute to that, because if you have low vitamin D levels, that can mess with your hormones, and you never want to mess with your hormones. That's the worst thing you could do is mess with your hormones. But yeah, vitamin D is very important. Get 10 minutes of sunlight every single day for any of you spurgs that just hide in caves all day. Uh, and yeah, get your vitamin D. Eat your. I actually wouldn't say eat fish. I don't trust fish at all because of all the shit in the water. So probably eat dairy if you can. I mean, you're 100% European, so I'm sure you have no problem with milk or cheddar, right?
Yeah, none whatsoever. My parents thought I was allergic to it when I was a kid, but that was complete bullshit.
Yeah, I could usually eat it fine, but I know a lot of people that can't. But at the same time, I don't know how European they are. Because I do live in California, so seeing too many white people, it's a little rare here. It's typically Hispanic. If you want to see white people, you have to go to the rich areas, and then you'll see a lot of them walking around.
But probably a lot of Asians there too, right?
Yeah, yeah, like Europeans, Asians, whites. They're tough for me to spot though, because I'm not used to it. But yeah, I mean, Asians have like the most money from what I've heard.
Yeah, but China is apparently there's a lot of Chinese people buying up real estate in America just for like the investment.
Yeah, I mean, we talk
or
about, yeah,
vacation homes.
Yeah, in the media nowadays, in the YouTube corners, we're always talking about certain groups of people. But if I had to put my money on who will eventually take over the planet, like who's finally gonna win, who's gonna take over the planet, right? There's so many people that have tried to do it, right? You had like Alexander, you had like the Ottomans tried it. There's been so many different empires and people that have tried to take over the world. But if I had to put my money down, I would say the Chinese are going to be the ones to actually do it.
Yeah, they've got fucking millennia of experience with empires, and they're also pretty well positioned right now economically and population.
Yeah, I would say just the number two or the closest country on par with us is China, and because of the demographic swings and the amount of crazy like civil war things that might break out in this country, China's completely homogenous. They're not taking in anyone. They've even said that they don't want to take people because they don't want demographic problems. So they actually know why they're saying no. They're not just, and since they're not white, they can't just be called racist just like every other country. Like there hasn't been a whole lot of propaganda out there on racist Asian people. So when people think about racism, they think about like usually American white people. So the thing is, they haven't started the propaganda on Asians. So Asians can basically act any way they want. And I mean, they do have their problems. That's for sure. I've heard that. Yeah, they have their problems, but I mean, they're buying up the United States because we're in debt. They're buying up Africa. That's why that I don't know if you saw this.
That's a lot of people talking about.
Yeah, there was a documentary that came out of this Chinese guy, and he was making fun of this African dude because he was like, "Hey, you guys could colonize, sure." But you guys didn't learn a fucking thing from them. Like, these people came here and brought all these innovations, and you just let it go, and you're going to be happy about it? Like, oh, we pushed them out. And then what? You went right back to the way you were before, like savages? And he's making fun of them. And because they don't give a shit. They're very much a collective. Like, with Asians, I've always said that they're always kind of like bug people. But there's a huge benefit to being bug people in that they're very much a collective.
Yeah,
and they think that way.
Ants and whatnot, very successful. Very ultimate collectivists.
Yeah, and if Europeans, if they don't start thinking like that in the next 100 years, I don't see any way they can protect themselves. Because whenever I go to school, there's quite a few white people, but they're always walking by themselves. And then when I see like Asian groups, they're all like there's walking in groups. They're all together. You look at Hispanics, they're all together. Blacks, not as much, but there's like a pair of them usually walking around. But when it comes to white people, I rarely ever see groups of white people ever walking around. Like that would be, they would have to be in a political club or something. So if they don't start thinking, because I think it's going to happen once whites become a minority, because some of the symptoms of becoming a minority is that you have to collectivize. That's why a lot of clubs can be racial, because they'll say, "Oh, well, we're part of a minority, so we have to stay together for protection." Their Jewish club has told me that. I saw a documentary with the black clubs, and they were telling, I think it was Heimbach, why he can't have a whites only club, because they're not a minority, they're a majority. So that's the mindset, and so by that mindset, hopefully, and we're seeing in South Africa where they're starting to collectivize, they're starting to train together. That is very much the future. You can't get into this whole, oh, we're the majority, let's just fall back on our victory while everyone else starts to take the lead. It's that whole, I feel like other groups are the tortoise and we're the hare. And we've been
we're taking a nap, trying to rest on the laurels. Like, oh, maybe we should let everyone catch up. And maybe it's bad that we're winning, but other people won't want to do the same thing, will they? Nah.
I think that's what's going on, and now we're starting to see the tortoise pass us up, and slowly we become the minority, and they start to become the majority, and then from there, hopefully, we'll start to get our heads straight. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I'm not black-pilled as far as the future of the white race. I do think that it's definitely headed for being a minority, but even with people that are okay with interracial marriages, and I think there's going to be pure whites for quite a while.
Well, I mean,
just because it does matter to some people.
Yeah, I do know interracial stuff. That's mostly propaganda, because from the data I've seen, whites are they mix the lowest out of everybody. Blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans are going to be gone because they actually mix more than any group. So Native Americans, they're basically gone. But whites actually,
which is sad. I think I don't like races being annihilated, regardless of what they are.
Yeah, if I can go back in the past, I would tell the founders just. Well, actually, I don't even know if I'd want to tell them to stay in the UK, because look at the UK today, huh? But
yeah, I think.
But I mean,
America's definitely better than it would have been left uncolonized. But hey, I like these memes where there's like, oh, the Native Americans didn't have a problem with immigrants. Well, yeah, what happened to them?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously the founders didn't like genocide them. They just happened to, they didn't know about germs, and so they got killed by all that stuff. I think it was smallpox or something like that. But
yeah, smallpox.
They didn't mean to kill them. Like, I think it was like 90% of the natives got killed by a disease. So, and then at that point, it was kind of like, look, most of you guys are dead anyway, so we might as well just take over. And
yeah, I was say we need this land, and you guys are kind of on it. So hey, we'll make a deal here, and then hey, well, I wasn't the guy in office that made this past deal, so I don't feel bad breaking it. And hey, just sucks to be less powered than the people that are taking over.
Look at Jay Mosin says whites need a healthy balance of collectivism and individualism, not just individualism. That's an argument for creating the Hapa master race right there. Also, right.
I definitely agree with that sentiment, though. What is it? Because I think that individualism helps promote like better. Like, give me a second. Let's see. So basically, if you want to, if people are like individual achievements, like think about in Greece, where there was really all about sports and like the war and whatnot, and the higher status you were, the better, like arranged marriage, you would get better women. So I think it helps genetically to have individualist ideals. But yeah, collectivism now is definitely important for the reasons we've been discussing.
Yeah, when it comes to individualism and collectivism, seeing as how I played sports most of my life, I just look at it like that. Like, I'm my own person, and I can do what I want. But if I want my basketball team to win, we're told to, teamwork, right? So we're all supposed to work together. Because if you're too individualistic, you never want to pass the ball. And that's seen as like a ball hog, not as a good person, right? But
yeah, that's terrible.
So I think you could definitely have a balance. Like obviously if you go into the military, you give up your individualism. You are now part of the military. You take orders, you do what you're told. So for people to say that like individualism is the best thing ever, you know, to the liberalists out there, how are you going to have how would you do a march? Because if you're telling people we're marching this way and they say, wait a second, I'm an individual, I want to march that way, and then the other guy says I want to march that way, and the other one says I want to actually turn around and go back that way, next thing you know everyone's by themselves because everyone decides to go do what they want. So there has to be a mixture between, look, I am who I am, I can go home and do what I want, but I do know that for the greater scheme of things, for my family, for my people, for my country, obviously we are a group. So, you know, there should definitely be a balance. But for people to look at collectivism as if it's this disgusting thing, I would ask you, do you think teamwork in basketball is disgusting? Probably not, right? You would probably, if you were in charge of a little kid's team, you'd probably tell them, hey, you guys got to start working together. But when it comes to politics, all of a sudden we shouldn't be working together? I mean, that makes no sense.
It's MK again. It almost sounds like that you just made a direct argument for communism there, buddy.
Communism. I actually like things that work. So I wouldn't say communism. I would just say that groups of people who are doing things that is in their own interests is only makes sense. But communism would go against their actual interests.
I think that what is it? So you've got like a commune of 150 people is about the like you have an old school like tribe thing. 150 people is about the limit that a human brain can keep track of the interrelationships with. So I think that's probably about the max that you could have communism work on. So I don't know. I guess just throwing out ideas here for an idealistic government. Maybe have like bring back the family sort of thing. You know, that's a typical conservative thing, but extend it to more of like the clan sort of ideal. So you've got a clan, so that's your communist type thing, but then everyone works in a more state operated system.
This is a C
like, yeah, this is a C clan, like the Scottish clans.
Not the K ones?
Yeah, not the K ones, so not the Hawaii clans.
So we're talking about the CCC clans.
The clearly Christian conservative clans.
I mean, when it comes to like government and how big it should be and all that, I think any system except for communism can actually work. It's just there's certain requirements, like if you look at Nordic nations, for instance, like the reason why they work is one, because there's white people there, they tend to be more empathetic, and they're very homogenous. So if you go to like Sweden before what's happened recently, they were very homogenous. They were also very small. I know Germany, for instance, is I think they're basically socialist, but Germany is smaller than Texas. So this is a very small place, has small populations. Most of these places, I think Sweden doesn't even have a military. So the money that would typically go into protecting your people is now going into healthcare and things like that. So they have a small amount of people. Everyone looks and thinks the same way, so they hold the same values. So you could trust everyone with in a socialist society because they hold the same values because they're homogenous. Not a lot of people there. They don't have a military. High IQs. And so it works. It works within that environment, within that framework, that the bacteria, for instance, can survive. It won't die off. It will work. But in America, for instance, we're a huge nation. So a lot of people here, multicultural. So we don't hold the same values. So you can't, because socialism is basically like you and your family all has money in the same account, right? And it's just from that mindset, you all know each other, you all trust each other, you all have somewhat the same values. So it's totally fine, the money's in there. But if you have a bunch of people from different areas with all these differences, you can't trust them with the money. Because, just look what's happening right now to our emergency rooms, where all these illegals just walking in every 2 seconds. They're taking advantage
of the fact that you don't want to turn away someone that's in an emergency because, that's going to hurt our profits. We don't want to have that happen. So get fucked.
Yeah, if we don't know these people, they'll take advantage of the system. So that's why like big government stuff will never work in the United States. We need more of the capitalism, that kind of stuff, because of how like maybe if we turn the whole like if we somehow like turn the whole place into the way it used to be, completely homogenous. But even then, we have a gigantic military, so that's, a lot of the money's going into that. We're already in debt, so it's like to think about like I just don't think it would ever work in the United States. Like it could work in small Nordic places, but I don't think it could ever. I don't think it could ever work in a gigantic nation the size of the United States. Because even the people within the United States, because it's so big, like the differences between the people in Ohio and California, or Texas and California, are just massive. Like they're just two different species, basically. So to
Yeah, we're feeling that with the Californians coming here.
yeah, so the mindset of everyone should be sharing the same amount of money and be treated the same when we're all completely different is I just don't think that would work. But I would say the idea of it for people to go like it's like socialism is evil. I know it's propaganda. Like I know it's propaganda, but the whole idea of saying it's evil just seems ridiculous because it feels like saying that guns are evil. You know, like there's an inanimate object that is evil. You know, it's out to kill you. I would say that the people that usually are ambitious enough to want to gain power usually want to do bad things once they get that power. But of course, that's not a great slogan, right? You know, socialism is bad. It's the dumb normies. That's what they need. Oh, socialism is bad. Oh, okay, I get it. Look at Venezuela. Got it. You know, that's all you got to do. But like, there's
I think I agree with that. The people in power generally aren't all too altruistic. Like they in there because they want to control things.
Yeah, but I would say, like, for instance, like most kings are probably bad, but I think there's a way of going about it that could work. Like, there's been a lot of good monarchs. There's been a lot of bad ones, but there's also been a lot of good ones. People forget that. And then people always say fascism is bad. Like, I don't have a whole lot of. I know Mussolini is the guy that created fascism. And I don't remember.
Fascism seems to be a very broad and kind of useless term now, with how people use it to just refer to any like authoritarian right wing thing.
Yeah, but I see people like on the right and left always spurging about it. And I'm like, because Mussolini is the guy you think of when it comes to fascism, and it's just controlling everything essentially. But I just don't see.
Which is pretty close to communism too.
Yeah, well, coming from a government control perspective, it completely takes over private companies. It doesn't just regulate them like communism, but like to say it's like evil because we all know communism has killed hundreds of millions of people, and then you could say, oh well, you know, the Nazis killed 6 million. But then it's like when you talk about fascism, which is put on a pedestal higher than National Socialism or communism, I don't even know like how many people did they kill. Like I heard some people said they used to live there during Mussolini, and some said it was good, some said it was bad. So to say that fascism is so bad, like I haven't heard any arguments other than fascism is bad, like just that.
Yeah, I think it's just people that have very individualist values. So then that's a lot more, what is it? You got authoritarian, there you don't have as many individual rights. It's all about the collective.
Yeah, they just don't like the idea of being bullied and told what to do, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's also somewhat of a problem with our current culture is we trying to get everyone to be leaders, and you really can't have a society of only leaders because then who is going to follow the lead? Like, it's pretty elementary.
Yeah, not only that, but right-wing people just want to be left alone. Like, not a lot of them are just like, oh yeah, pay me so I can get up in people's faces and call them fucking libtards. Like, there's not a whole lot of people that want to do that, and the people that do want to do that typically used to be Bernie Sanders supporters not that long ago, or they were leftists not that long ago. So they still have that mindset of, we got to go after these people, you know, mindset.
Yeah, it does seem like we're facing a pretty authoritarian drift in from the left, at least. It used to be more about individual freedoms, and now it's like trying to control people's opinions and like their speech and whatnot.
Yeah, that's true.
Like,
Yeah, I've
And then you got what is it, socialized medicine and whatnot, which is also it requires more government. So, although it's not like the right doesn't want more regulations and whatnot.
Well, yeah, like conservatives, they try to say that they're low government, but I mean, a lot of the neocons are totally for having a huge I'm not against the military size, but you can't just say we should always have a massive military. I mean, I would support it right now, but of course, the whole omnibus bill, like we're gonna sign we're gonna help Obamacare and all this stuff just so that we can get a bigger military is just beyond me. But they do.
Yeah, our military is really big enough. Like, I really don't like how we are basically financing the entire world's policing duties. Like, we're talking about Sweden doesn't even have a military because America is going to basically protect everybody that's in NATO.
I don't even know what we get for that either.
Nothing, just the fact that we have that, oh, well, we'll just stop protecting you then. Like, what's leverage in global trade deals.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to let's pull over Generation Zyklon, and because he's been waiting a while. Let's see what he has to say or if he can add to the discussion. Gen Zyklon, what is up?
All right. He's muted.
He can hear us, though. He might have stepped away, though, so. If he decides to leave, then, I mean, I've been doing this for 2 hours now, so I'm getting a little on the tired side. For any of the people that joined, please subscribe. That's like my main thing. I'm trying to reach 10,000 subscribers. The chat's looking pretty good. I brought over a lot of people from the Red Elephants, so it's looking pretty good in here.
Hello.
Let me check. Is that Zyklon?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Zyklon. What is up?
Yeah, I hear you.
All right, am I loud enough or?
Yeah, you're good.
It sounds like you're about the same level as White Knicker.
All right. So I had a couple questions. So I posted earlier that I asked you what kind of music do you listen to, if you listen to our music, and I was wondering if you like some movies.
What was that? You cut off.
I was wondering if you listened to some Moon Man.
I have, it's all over the place, you know, in the Discord, people are shooting that all over the place. A lot of Generation Z people, know about that stuff. So I've listened to it, but, that's not something that I like run on the treadmill listening to or anything.
Yeah. Me and a buddy, well, he's not like totally red-pilled or anything, but we listen to it all the time, and he mostly just like it's an ironic thing to listen to, you know, and it does actually help red pill people. And then I introduced him to Mr. Bond and a couple of the other our music people, and it does help to red pill them, especially the my generation that likes the edgy humor.
Well, I mean, we're stuck in this culture that tells you have to shut the fuck up and you can't say certain things. So naturally, you're gonna get the real resistance is gonna come out, and they're gonna say, no, you could say whatever the hell you want, and then they're gonna push it to the extreme, right? And not only that, but we're always constantly talking about race every single day. So obviously, the stuff that's gonna be pushed out is gonna be like super duper racist. But at the end of the day, like I went to a very multicultural school, and we weren't listening to any of that stuff. But people were they knew race was real. We made jokes. You know, you had a black friend. You're like, hey, you want to get something to eat? And he's like, oh yeah, sure. And you're like, all right, where's the nearest watermelon restaurant? You know, it's just a fucking joke. You know, and then they'll say the same thing back. Yeah, you know,
Want to get some mayo, Whitey?
Yeah, I mean, it was like, oh, let's play basketball, but I don't want to pick that white guy because he sucks. You know, he can't jump, right? So it was just like, it wasn't derogatory. Like, no one meant to, like, hey, fuck you, I fucking hate you. Like, it was just like jokes. People knew it was real, and I think you could kind of see that, hey, we have differences, and we can make these differences. We can make this part of your character, kind of thing. But That's all of that though, the Mr. Bond stuff and all that. That's all a reaction to the PC culture. So if anyone is to blame for any of that stuff, it is for these leftists that are trying to censor and shut people up.
Yeah, I agree.
It's Overton window. Just they're pushing as far left as they can, and we got to push right if we want it to stay in the same place.
Yeah,
Yeah, if you get people listening to like Mr. Bond and Moon Man and stuff, they're going to be a lot more open to our ideas. Even though like Mr. Bond and Moon Man may not 100% represent our ideas, it definitely pushes them into accepting our ideas more.
Yeah, it's like a phobia. If you want someone to stop being afraid of something, you have to get them to interact with it constantly. So like there was a video of these like black guys that were actually doing a reaction video to Mr. Bond, and were they, was it throwing some shit at them? Yes, but did they kind of go with it? Did they, were they good sports? I would say yes. So I actually think to get people to stop being so like crazy, they just need to probably actually be, because most of these people have never been hit with real racism before. They're just calling people racist that aren't racist. They're going after like Shapiro and calling him a fucking Nazi. They're going after SPLC goes after Ben Carson, calling him a hateful person. So none of these people, they don't even know what any of this stuff really is. So yeah, it's good for this shit to be normalized to a degree, and it's kind of funny because you'll never get rid of it, because most people, even if you have a homogenous society, there will still be differences in the groups. Because I know in like the black communities, the difference between a really dark guy and a light skinned one is huge. It's huge. There was an article that said the light skinned black people are the new white people. And it's the same thing in like Italy. Like if you're Sicilian, you're considered like a dark Italian, which isn't viewed well. Same thing in like, in Asia, they try to be as light as possible. They see being dark as being bad. You can see this in almost every single group. Is black is bad. The lighter you are, the better you are, the more attractive you are. I actually saw that in this r/Hoppas in Reddit, that there was this girl that said that she was half Asian and half black, but because she was lighter, the black guys went after her more than her black friends. So it's not even just like a race thing. It's like people tend to be more attracted to lighter skinned people.
Yeah, it's something interesting I've noticed since I'm in high school, and I live in like a 95% white town, so it's pretty white. But we have a lot of Mexicans starting to come to our school. We have a couple blacks. I've noticed that the Mexicans, the Hispanics, very racist against the blacks. Like they all constantly make jokes about them and stuff. But some of them really do mean it. And I got this funny story. This guy, we were in a class and we had a substitute teacher. The substitute teacher left for like 5 minutes to go to the bathroom. And a guy in my class went up to the project, like where it plugs into the projector. And there's an aux cable there. And he hooked up Johnny Rebel. He started playing Johnny Rebel. And our substitute teacher was black, but he was like kind of a base black, And he completely laughed it off. It was really surprising.
Yeah, it comes down to, I think, the difference between like a right wing person and left wing comes down to whether you're strong and weak. And I've actually seen some studies that actually show that right wing people tend to be actually physically stronger. But I would say that the main difference is like mental strength. Because people on the right, you could just talk shit about them all day. But people on the left, they can't take anything. That's why they have to censor you, right? They can't take a punch. So they have to. They're like, oh, I can't take a punch, so let's cut off your hands. People on the right, we could take punishment all the time. Like we even want to have regular debates with the other side. We try to be very fair and honest to these people. Whereas on their side, they're so weak they can't play that game. They have to be scumbags. They have to try to, play all these things. But yeah, I mean the base black guy, I mean he could take a joke. He's mentally strong, independent, right? That tends to be a right wing thing. People on the left, not so much. They think with their feelings more than their head. That tends to be a dumb thing, right? So
Yeah,
overly altruistic.
I've seen that a lot.
John Litzy in the chat says, I'm lefty, I can take it. By take it, do you mean up the ass?
Yeah, I guess just kind of touching on that, what is it, the left being weak or at least more altruistic. I mean, it kind of shows up in the, what is it, government policies too, talking about welfare programs and trying to help people that are weaker, you know. So
Yeah, it's basically
So
take care of me, right? Give me money, universal basic income. You know, let me do degenerate stuff. So, you know, LGBT and all these things. It's yeah, I don't know. The whole concept though is basically just, you know, I think it comes down to on an economic level. It's like if you're on the right, you want someone to teach you how to fish so you can fish for yourself. But on the left, they're like, no, fuck that. You just fish for me. Like I don't even know how. I don't even need to learn how to fish. Just you fish for me the rest of my life. And that's
yeah, they're like, what about the people with no arms that can't fish? Well, we should have everyone get free fish then.
It's like in nature, if you're a rabbit and you're born without two front legs, you're just an easy meal for somebody. That's all it is. You
I was wondering, do you think that weak people, like weak-minded people, do you think that they naturally gravitate towards the left then? Because I've seen it where
Oh, did you guys hear that? Oh, okay. Sorry, there's a super chat. Mel Gibson 138, thank you for 199. He says, take it up the asses, Lefty. Get that welfare. Thank you for your donation.
It's MK again. Do you think that people constantly wanting, you know, that oh, we got to save the weakest link? Do you think that mentality has also helped the overpopulation, you know, of our planet? Of, oh, we got to save everyone.
Yeah, I don't see that as like why should we save everyone? Like I'm of the mindset of like I want the, you know, the strongest and the brightest to survive. If we're part of a society where we're helping people that would normally like couldn't even last a day in nature, that's only going to bring us down as a group, you know. It's like, did the Spartans, were they doing some mean shit by, you know, if a baby had a problem they would just throw it off a cliff kind of thing, like they only wanted the strong? Yeah, it was a problem, but were they strong as shit and were they respected by Athens and the rest of the Greek city states? Yes, they were. And you know, for people to just say, "Oh, well, we should," like, it just gets ridiculous. Like, there's a story of this guy who's a vegetable. He's a vegetable. Mom takes care of him and she's been taking care of him for years, wiping his ass, all of that. And she's sitting here instead of saying like, "Hey, look, he's not gonna wake up. Let me just." You know, let me take him off and, you know, give him a good burial and then I can go back to work and that kind of stuff. Instead, she's begging the state to pay for everything, you know, and it's just like, it's such a selfish fucking mindset. Like I'm not against people with disabilities, but if your disability is so bad, like, you should take care of your own kid. If you have a kid and he has a problem, you take care of him. You're not going to make me pay. You're not going to make the government pay, right? You take care of your kid. And if you get held down and bad things happen to you because you don't have time to work and stuff because you got to take care of your kid, he's your responsibility. You want to keep him. But I do think, though, there's these, I don't know if you've heard of them, but there's these tubes. They're like euthanasia tubes now. And you could just go and press a button and you'll be dead in like 10 minutes or something like that.
is that the stuff like in Futurama, the suicide booth?
Yeah, that's actually a thing. I'm
Drama's
just,
pretty dope.
yeah, I would just say that, you know, I just view, look, if we're on a small island and there's only so much food and only certain people are contributing, why would we give food to the guy that doesn't have fucking arms? He can't do anything. We're just feeding him just to keep him alive. Like, at some point you're like, do we have any coconuts that we could maybe take over his head or something? You know, it comes down to that.
Yeah, I mean, but you got stuff like the people can contribute in other ways nowadays without arms. Like we got what is it, Stephen Hawking, who was basically a vegetable, but his mind was good, so he was able to come up with some useful theories.
Yeah,
I think as long as people can contribute in some way, we don't want to euthanize them. But like a vegetable, yeah, no, I wouldn't want to be kept as a vegetable for my entire existence.
Yeah.
The weak should fear the strong.
Well, I just care about I just care about, like, the betterment of people. And if people are just thinking in this whole fucking like for instance in California, people like in the gay community, you have this whole I'm sure some of you guys know bug chasing is going on. And the reason why they're doing that is because they understand that even though they're doing bad things, that there is a safety net that will protect them. And so it's kind of like with people, like if you're going and you're having kids with someone that has bad genes, and then big surprise, your kid comes out and he has fucking problems too. And then now instead of taking like, hey, it's my fault, I shouldn't have had kids with this person. Instead, you blame others, and then you want us to pay to keep your kid alive, or to pay for your kid's therapy or something. Like I'm very lenient to the point where I'm like, look, I'm not talking about like grabbing your kids and shooting them or anything. I'm just saying that, look, if you want the kid, then you got to pay for them. Like, do not look to the state. Do not look to us. I'm taking care of my family. You take care of your family. And if you want to have that kid that has problems or whatever, that, let's say you go out with someone who had a, 50% chance of schizophrenia or something, and then your kid has it like early on or something, and now you have to deal with that. That's your fucking problem, right? If you were smart, you'd think about, hey, maybe I should breed with someone that actually has good genes. Like if you think about what are those centers where you donate, where you could donate the
sperm donation.
People very much care about your issues. They care about your height, your size. Like just look at horses, right? If you want a horse to win, you want to get a high quality horse, so you try to breed it with the best horses, right? And then you get the best quality. But instead, we have all these people that are just pushing out, oh, that feels good, whatever, like they don't even think about anything, right? And they're just popping out what the fuck ever. And then those people are surprised that they're whatever fucking kid, that kid is. They're like, oh, why isn't my kid equal to that guy's kid? I don't know, maybe because that guy was actually put some thought into who he wanted to reproduce with, and he actually took care of the kid. But your kid is just like genetically like you think it's like equal to like this other guy.
I think people seem to have this what is it, like a fear of breeding like human, like we were talking about, finding good breeding stock when you're trying to have kids. I don't know what it comes from. It seems to have been fairly popular, at least in the Middle Ages and past then.
Well, I think it's so many people believe in this blank slate sort of thing that they don't think that genetics have anything to do with your personality, when it really does. It influences a lot of stuff that goes on in your life.
I mean, it's not everything, but if you look at animals or competitions, it's like people try, like with dogs, with dog competitions, they actually get like the males and the females that win, and they actually try to get them to breed and things like that, and they come out. If you want to look a certain way, you would breed with a certain person that gives you a high chance of looking a certain way. The thing that I am disgusted by is that most people don't even think about who they're going to be with. They're just going to be with whatever, and they don't think about the consequences. Like, it's like, look, you could do what you want, just at least come up. Like, let's be honest, your kid's not going to even fucking look like you. He's not going to look like you. And according to the biological stuff that I've accumulated, it's like you might not even have the same IQ and all this stuff. But then they like ignore that, and they just look at like the emotions. They're like, oh, well, I love my kid. It's like, it doesn't really matter. I'm just saying that, like, you just, the mindset of, let's say,
nature is stronger than a lot of people's nurturing nowadays.
Well, nature doesn't give a shit, like how many people have just been wiped out? Like how many peoples and cultures have been absorbed or just entirely wiped out? And like nature doesn't care, if you believe in a God, he doesn't give a shit. And the only people he does care about are the people that are strong. He only cares about the people that absorb, the ones that take over, those kinds of things. He doesn't respect like, oh, well, we're peace and loving. It's like, okay, well, when the Vikings run up on you and they just kill all your dudes and rape all your whammons, that's who nature supports is those people. That's why they are benefited from it, right? When the Vikings kill everyone, all the weak people, they take all the treasures, they take all the whammons, they take everything, and that they're rewarded for that behavior.
Yeah, I mean, they just moved in eventually, settled a lot of Britain and Normandy. And then you got the Normans, who were pretty much the dominant force in Europe for a couple hundred years.
We have a super chat from Mel Gibson 19. Homo fascism is RWDs via bug chasing. Give them all AIDS. That's disgusting. That's almost disgusting as that Aaron chick. Did you guys see that Periscope stream?
No.
Okay, thank God. It was disgusting. I don't even want to talk about it. But
was it the Aaron the Baked Alaska one?
Yeah, she did a
when I was on
Periscope.
Baked Alaska stream.
She did a Periscope just recently where she they're like, I'll do a visual without talking about it. She went like on a Periscope, she went like, and then there was something on there, and then she started smelling it. Oh. Like, we're talking about live on a Periscope with a bunch of people watching. She did that.
Yeah, degenerates are going to be wiped out from our right-wing death squads that we form.
It's like not even being degenerates.
I mean,
yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, I find it kind of like, if Baked Alaska's involved, I don't think Baked Alaska can point fingers at any faggotry when he's been fisting people in the ass himself.
Well, it's not even like, because I know a lot of people spurg on degenerate stuff. Like, let's say I did a live stream and I just started doing shots. People are like, fucking degenerate. Like, I get it. But doing that is like a whole different level. You know, that's I feel like that's actually being degenerate, you know?
Yeah, I think, what is it? You can really do anything and not make it degenerate. I mean, within reason. You just can't let it take control of you, like your life and goals and whatnot.
Yeah, like my thing is like the ancient Greeks say, everything in moderation. So as long as there's
Aristotle.
Yeah, so nothing in excess, everything in moderation. And even normies, you can tell them this. And they're like, yeah, that makes sense. Like, yeah, well, you should not drink in excess. You shouldn't have, too much sex in excess. Anything in excess can be bad. Like, if you eat too much broccoli, you could, there's problems with it. So everything, too much. Yeah, you need sun, but too much sun, you get cancer. So there's a balance, right, to all things. There in the ecosystem, right? There's a balance. Everyone has to eat each other. Otherwise, if you get rid of one of them, the whole thing falls apart and everything dies. So there's a balance of things and everything in moderation.
Well said.
Well, we still have a good number. Obviously, we were at like 50. We've downgraded to like 23. But does anyone have anything major they want to say? Getting kind of tired is why. I just thought that this stream would be good because I was like, oh, well, we have like almost 1,000 people on the Red Elephant. So, might as well show my channel and see how many people I can get over. And I got it over a good like 15, 20 people. So I think it was a good idea. Cool. Yeah, I mean we have a good chat right now.
So tell me some more about what this channel is because I'm pretty new to it.
Okay,
just talking about stuff, or is there a goal here?
So there's two parts. There's two things I do on this. So one is I've created this show where basically it's very laid back. I consider it somewhat of like the Joe Rogan, where I just kind of just sit here. I sometimes I'll have topics where I talk about things. I'll do heavily talking to everyone in the chat. I'll read super chats. I'll bring people into the Discord and we'll talk about things. But also the other day I had a guest on named Gregory, and he's very against circumcision. So I did an interview with him. And we also interacted with everyone, and I had guests come on, and they were talking to him. And sometimes it would turn into a blood sport. Sometimes it was just people asking questions. But yeah, this is a very cozy stream. We're just kind of sitting back. We're all just having a cool, nice discussion. It's not. Sometimes I've had some blood sports in here. I've had some people like yelling. So if you guys go back a little bit, there's been some streams where people were going at it. But this is just a cozy stream, I would say. And then the other thing I do is I do IRL streams where I'll go around and talk to people about political topics. I've only done it about twice. I want to do it more because I've been busy, but that's the second part where I'll go around, ask people. It's kind of like, how people do pre-recorded videos. They'll go out to people, ask them, like, what's your thoughts on free speech? And then they'll ask a bunch of people and they'll do like a quick little 5-minute video. I basically do it in an IRL live streaming way. So you see all the awkwardness of it. Like, you know how you go with people?
Exactly. You know, it's not just clipped. Like,
It's a bunch of people.
here's the worst thing that they said, or here's the best thing that these other people said.
Yeah, so a bunch of people are telling me no. Like, I feel like I'm like trying to ask girls for their numbers because a lot of people are rejecting you, and it's kind of weird because you're going up to random people. But I think it's fun. I think it's original. I think it's new. So I do that myself. Wait.
Well, that's cool. I think I'll have to tune in more then.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a cozy stream. I mean, the main thing I will tell you guys as an incentive is if you're in the comments, for the most part, I will interact with you. You can easily come into the Discord and come onto the show and talk about stuff. So it's very interactive. Like most streams, you're just another fish in the sea, you know, so you don't really get interacted at all. You have to donate probably money for your question to be heard. I'm hoping that, you know, if I bring on some guests, I know that this place will get bigger. You know, obviously it'll be good for me if it gets bigger. But as of right now, it's still very small, and I could still very much interact and see everyone. I could see everyone in the chat right now, so that would be the incentive. But yeah, if you want to come on here and talk about something, you have the opportunity. You could comment. You don't have to super chat. I like that Mel gives super chats, but there's really no incentive to, because most of the time I'll just read people's comments. But usually, if you guys super chat, that means you guys are being nice. But yeah, that's it. Have me as a guest so I can give you kids a history. Well, join the Discord. Oh yeah, you were in it, weren't you? I bet you did something. Which is why we kicked you out. Here, I'll talk to some people to see if we can get you back on, because it would be nice to not have such an echo chamber. But at the same time, I don't trust the leftists in my servers, because you'll most likely take screenshots. So most likely you won't ever come on. Thank you, Real Eyes, for subbing. Ride the Tiger. If you ever need a philosophical berserker to get folks' blood pumping, I'm your guy. I know how to adjust my power level. Philosophical berserker, that seems interesting. Ride the Tiger. Join the Discord, and you can come on anytime you want. I'll let this go for a few more minutes since we're like close to 3 hours anyways. Actually, no, 2 hours and 30 minutes. Never mind. We'll go for a few more minutes, but I'm getting tired, so probably gonna...
I've got to get off. It's 12:30 almost. So.
All right, Zyklon, you are allowed to gas yourself.
All right.
Since Carl can't even hear us, I'm just gonna gas him for fun. All right.
All right. Well, I really don't know if you got anything more to talk about. I'll just gas myself as well.
Yeah, I'll probably just interact with the chat and then I'll end it soon. But thanks for coming on. You got a lot to say, so anytime you want to come on.
I would say that this is somebody that I'm going to try to have. I'm going to have him hopefully in chat and get him active more with the group. So this is fun. I'm glad that y'all had a badass interaction.
Yeah, it was good.
Yep. All right. I'll plan on interacting more in this then.
And give him a sub.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Great
Martin.
show.
All right, I'll pull you over. Thanks for being here, though. A lot of cool people, a lot of good subs, cool people, good conversations. I like Martin. We had some good chats. Didn't feel forced or anything. Sometimes it's forced because someone pulls you in, you try to get a conversation going. That chick is cute and intelligent. I'm awesome. Who's the chick? Miss Throat. I don't know who that is. Good show, David. Thank you. So this is gas yourself. Yeah. Oh, Emily girl equals Emily what? Yeah, Emily's cute and intelligent. I mean, do you think I would associate with a whammon that isn't cute and isn't intelligent? Like, what the? Come on, guys. You guys know I know how to choose them. Okay. Good luck. Forgot some girl he used to have on live stream. Yeah, she was just some whatever. You know what I mean? You know, every day I got a different whammon on here. This is a different whammon every day, you know. All right, guys, I'm tired, but if you guys, is there no mods in here? You see, this is why people talk shit, because they're like, oh, well, you don't have enough mods. You know what? I'm about to give someone power right now. How do I do it? All right, I'm going to give someone power right now. All right, guess who? Guess who it's going to be? I'm about to give someone some power. I'm about to give someone a wrench. This is this is what you do. You have to, it's like becoming knighted. All right, it's done. Boom. I think it's done. Okay, there it is. There it is. So, I like you guys. You guys are fun. Because I have people in here and they don't interact very much, but you guys interact. Give it to Broseph. He already oh, what the? When did he get in here? What the? Alright, I'll give, okay, well, okay, there, I'll give it to Broseph. Broseph does a lot. He's a smart guy. I don't agree with him on everything, but I agree with him on more things than I don't. Okay, so here's the mods. Okay, so if you guys could just chill the Discord a little bit, I'm going to end it soon in case anyone wants to join. I've been playing games and listening. Oh, okay. Well, it's kind of creepy to know that I know someone and they're just listening. But this, you know, I mean, most of these guys, I don't know them very well, so if they're lurking, it's fine, but tomorrow's show should be good. Oh, yeah, okay. So tomorrow, for any of you guys who don't know, I'm going to be having a conversation with Shuttershot 45. He is a guy that has been doing the pre-recorded. He's the only one that does the pre-recorded activist stuff. He has over 50,000 subscribers on YouTube. It's a really cool dude. He's one of those guys where it's impossible to not talk to him for hours and hours. He's one of those guys that you can just keep a conversation going forever. He's a really cool dude. He's one of the guys that I would consider really cool out of the movement. Some people were cool, then you find out they weren't. But he has been, me and him have been good for a long time. So he's going to come on tomorrow. We're going to have a good chat. If you guys want to come in, you guys could, all right, for the people that do want to get modded, you guys have to interact more so I get to know you, and then I will mod you. Or if it's a really bad situation like I had before, No Lives Matter and Broseph showed up, you know, I had to mod So. But So has kissed my ass a lot. I like that, okay? In the astrology, I'm an Aries. So if you guys tell me nice things all the time, I'm probably gonna treat you really nice. I don't have permission to give out invites. Ah, crap. Okay. Oh, Broseph does. I mean, Broseph has power everywhere, basically. Okay, guys, if you guys want to join the Discord, you guys can come in and talk to me and Shuttershot tomorrow, ask them some questions. Please, at least have a couple of you guys. I hate it when I do these things and, like, no one really shows up, so I just had to, you know, talk, or I had to make some of the mods come in. Yeah, so thank you to Broseph. Thank you to No Lives Matter. Thank you to So. You are now a mod. Thank you to Real Eyes. Real Eyes has been cool. I think Republican Fascist has been cool. I don't know. There's a lot of people, so it's tough to know exactly who. No, don't just go for yes men. I don't know. I like yes men though. I need some. I don't have any. I need a couple. I need a couple yes men. You know. Get the brown lipstick. Yeah. I mean, look. There's certain ways to manipulate people. You just gotta kiss my ass a little bit. Hell yeah, I love how, yeah, I actually convinced him to. I told him, like, hey, I know doing the recorded stuff is a little difficult. You could just sit back, do a live stream, you know? Hopefully people, the sucky thing is he has 50,000, but people don't know him as a streamer, so no one really watches his stuff. But I've been trying to help him. I try to show his channel on my Discord, but join the Discord. Come watch tomorrow. I think I'm streaming tomorrow at 8 p.m. for any of you guys that want to come in. Oh, so is Liebens. Oh, okay, makes sense. Oh, okay. All right, makes sense. I didn't know that. So yeah, please come watch tomorrow. Please sub. For you 18 people in here, if you're not subbed, please sub. I'm trying to reach 10,000. And I'm really glad that I was able to grab almost near 50. That's my goal for just on a typical show, at least 50. Before I start bringing on the big guests. Once I bring on the big guests, I might get into the hundreds, but organically, I would like to have 50 average on a show. I'm not very greedy, so 50 would seem good enough. But I think today was a very beneficial show. It was a surprise stream too. So great conversations, great new people in here. I like it. I like it. I like it. All right. Thank you guys. Join the Discord if you haven't, and I'll see you tomorrow. And to all you Europeans, stay white.